You're listening to the Wolverine and the Warthog, Chronicles of the Wild podcast. Two hunters from opposite ends of the earth, united by instinct, driven by the wild. These are our stories. Welcome back, guys, to the Wolverine and the Warthog, coming at you from Trader's Rendezvous. Connor, Andy, and we have a special guest with us today, Hunter Enloe. Hunter is one of the greatest killers that you've never heard of, and that's something we wanted to focus here on this podcast. So we wanted to bring him along. I'm going to let Andy do a little introduction on Hunter.
Yeah, excited to really have our kind of first official guest on here. Thanks for guinea pigging that for us.
For sure, man.
We've known about Hunter for a while. He was born in North Carolina, moved to Gunnison at the age of 17, just looking for adventure. And Hunter has a really interesting story. He has been involved in filming for hunting and fishing TV shows. He is a full-time hunting and fishing guide, specializes in all kinds of lake trout fishing, high country mule deer and elk. Very, very passionate game caller in all aspects, which we're going to dive into a little bit. Early in your career, you worked with the Youth United States fly fishing team.
Yep.
That's kind of fun.
Yep.
And recently you just became a father. So
Yep.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, man.
Yeah, it's been exciting.
It's been super fun already. Shout out to my wife. She's amazing. Yeah.
And she's letting you do this, you
Dude,
know,
yeah,
so.
for sure. And I'm about to pack up and go turkey hunt for like 2 months, and she's like, "See you later." So she's awesome. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we're just going to kind of ask some questions of Hunter. We kind of want to focus on the calling thing because that's something he's really passionate about. So I think I'm just going to start this out. So you said you're going to go turkey hunting for the next month. So tell us what that looks like, how many states you're planning on hitting this year, where you've already been. And
Yeah, man. So I just killed an Osceola in Florida. But kind of planning on to obviously hit Colorado here this coming weekend. Hopefully can kill quick there. And then me and Heidi and Boone, our 3-month-old basically, we're going down to New Mexico for opening day there.
sweet, which is
fun.
when?
April 15th.
April 15th.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're going to go down there for 4 or 5 days, see how that works out, hunting with a 3-month-old. But
Yeah.
You're
we'll
just
see.
going to go hit some public land down there?
Yeah, dude, I found a cool spot last year. I had pins on the map forever, man.
I remember you telling me about it.
Yeah, dude, it's such
fun.
beautiful country, man. Just like,
I
similar.
saw turkeys in the Gila when I was elk hunting down there, and one was giant.
Really?
It was legit giant.
Yeah.
But they're few and far between in that country.
yeah. This was same deal, man. I mean, I covered a ton of country. I went down there last year. I think I put a couple 100 miles on in New Mexico, and then ended up finding just one little pocket of birds, man, way up high. I've seen very few hunters, but all the hunters were down low, like desert country stuff almost. And I just kind of went up, busted through a bunch of snow, got way up there. I mean, I had birds coming in like 3-foot snow drifts, you know.
Sweet.
And kind of similar stuff I hunt here.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, dude, it was sick country, man. Called one, kind of ran around all day. I walked this road out. I'm walking up this road, and there's tons of tracks in the road. And I'm walking, calling. Like, normally these Merriams are like, they're ready.
Yeah.
You know, like, they're just ready to die a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up hunting Easterns, dude, and I know you hear it from everybody, and it's like, Easterns are the hardest bird to kill, and like those guys get real like defensive on like, oh, you're just killing Merriams. Well, like, it's true, dude. Like, the Eastern turkey is another animal. Like,
Really?
Yeah, like, that's what makes these Merriams so fun for us, because it's just like, you just go call them in, they come. Like, the only difference with these is they just move a ton of country, you know, and they gobble.
Merriams,
Yeah, dude, and they'll fly down, and they'll gobble at you every time you call, but they're going somewhere, and if you're not in that path, like, you're not going to turn them around.
Yeah.
And then it's just, eventually you get out of earshot of them, and you just got to be in their path. And normally, I mean, if you sound decent, you don't have to be a good caller. It's like they're going to come.
Yeah.
To where Eastern turkeys, you got a ton of pressure. I don't know what it is about those birds, but it's just like out of the egg, they're just completely different.
Okay.
But it's still just like anything you call in, or any kind of call in or hunting. when it happens, it's always like, well, that was easy.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean? And it's
yeah.
like, but you've hunted hard and you've messed up on so many birds, and like other guys come in or whatever it is. But when it happens, it's always like, well, that was just, that was
Yeah, it just
easy.
worked
Yeah,
just right.
you know.
I did want to ask, because I got a little tidbit as you pulled up here. Tell us a little bit about this hunt in Florida that you just went on. So the Osceola, just kind of explain what happened there and what you were hunting.
Yeah, dude. So just super limited, like public land. I didn't draw any kind of WMA. It's basically the only public ground you can hunt without drawing.
In Florida.
Yep. And just covered up with guys, man. And it's small. I mean, it's just like, and just looking at Onyx, it's like, well, to back up, like all my turkey stuff, dude, like it just seems like, and I'm not saying I'm very good at e-scouting, but like I kill birds, like I've never been to these states, and I'll put a pin, and it's just like, I'll kill birds 200 yards from that pin when I get there. It's just like, you figure out what to look for, just like anything else. And you go there and there's birds there a lot of times, you know?
Yeah.
And same deal there. And it was like a pretty small area where I felt like these birds are going to be. And of course, everybody knows it down there. It's all local dudes, you know? And
Was that your first Osceola bird?
yeah,
Okay.
I'd never hunted them, man. I hunted them last year. I had a fishing client from out here gave me some permission to hunt his land. Super small tract. Actually walked right up on a tom in a road, and I could have just blasted him at 30 yards, but didn't. I've killed so many turkeys, and the same thing with coyotes too, but yeah, but with turkeys, it's like, I gotta call it in.
Yeah.
I'm not sneaking. If I see them off in the road, like I just don't do that. Like I want to call them in. That's the whole point of it. But anyway, yeah, that bird just slipped everybody, man. And it was literally the same turkey. I mean, it's the same bird. And he was slipping everybody. And there's like 8 guys around me, like calling, like within 200, 300 yards, you know. And finally, I think the pressure eased up just a little bit and ended up, man, just slipping in there. He was roosted in the same tree he'd been roosting in. And it's like, I don't even know how he gets out of there without getting killed, you know, and with that many guys around, you know. And,
Fun. For those that aren't that familiar, how many species of turkey are there in the United States, and roughly how are they distributed?
What is it? 5? Is it 5 subspecies?
So we got an Osceola bird.
Osceola, Easterns, Rios, Merriam's, and the Gould's turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which are
okay.
New Mexico.
Yeah,
And then the ocellated, those are Central America, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
like Yucatan Peninsula
Yeah.
or
Oh,
something.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Which
you
is somewhere
have
down there.
Have you killed a Gould?
I haven't killed a Gould's, man.
Okay.
Yeah, over the years I've killed Eastern Rios, Merriam's, and what am I missing?
Osceola and
Osceola now. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
that's
never
fun.
killed the Goulds. You got you got to draw tags, and I've heard it's like a super long wait period to draw. I'm not even putting in for them. I'm not really into the whole slam deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like something I do want to do in the future. I
sure.
probably should start putting in, it sounds like, but the whole part of turkey hunting for me is like, and you guys know, it's so hard putting in for stuff and waiting to draw this, and like turkey hunting's fun, so I just like drive to a state, pick up a tag and go hunt.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I don't know, it's just fun.
Great off-season practice too.
dude.
Like I feel like I'm serious about turkey hunting. Like I want to kill a bird, but it's also nice. Like this weekend, I'm gonna bring my whole family. If I don't kill a bird, I don't kill a bird.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, you've taken your wife out several times killing turkeys
Yeah.
here, and
Yeah, she I've taken her elk hunting and everything, but she loves the turkey hunt more than anything. And honestly, man, for me personally, it's high country mule deer with a bow, turkeys, and then elk.
Okay.
Like I love my turkeys, man.
That's awesome.
It's always, and the coyotes are somewhere in there.
Hey, you guys
honestly
leave them
probably
high country deer alone, will ya? You guys.
we will. I can't draw a tag. So.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome. Okay, so as far as turkey hunting this year, we're having a 1 in 200 year drought. We are currently at 19% of snowpack. So can you kind of explain what you think that's going to do to these birds moving forward? Because it'll probably be 60 degrees, and I mean the access is better. Birds may move higher. So yeah, what do you think about what's going on there?
Yeah, kind of everything you said, man. I think it's gonna be super early. I went and scouted a couple days ago. Birds gobbling everywhere, which is not usual. I mean, most of my turkeys I kill out here are above 9,000 foot. And I've killed a couple over 10,000 foot. And I read a lot of stuff online. Guys don't even believe that. They're like, no way, you know, but that's just what it is here, you know, and it's, but personally, man, I think it's gonna be super early. I feel like hens are already gonna be bred. Hens are gonna be going to their nest already. honestly, to me, it's just going to shape up to be like opening weekend's going to be awesome.
Okay.
To where like last year we went opening weekend, I never heard a gobble. But with turkeys, man, it just seems like it switches so quick. It's like elk almost. It's just like nothing, and then you come back the next day and you call in 5.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like whatever happened, the switch flips and they're coming. They want to respond. But I think as far as access goes, like most of my stuff I hunt here, I mean, there's like a main road and then there's a bunch of spurs that go off, and I can't go on those spurs till late May because of the snow. And whether it's they've plowed the road and there's big berms, you know, blocking these side roads, and I either walk those out, but shoot, dude, you're walking in your post hole, man. You're knee deep snow walking for a turkey, man. And I typically stick to the road, which everybody else does. Yeah. And then I get over that if I don't kill quick, and then I go walk some knee deep stuff. Yeah. You know, but I think it's going to open that up. It's going to be, which will obviously you'll spread people out. Yeah. You'll spread people out, and
but
there's birds
may be
there.
More spread anyway as a result of there just being less snow on the ground.
So when you're saying like hens are already bred, so the hens are bred, they're going to nest in the morning. So your likelihood to call in a tom early is probably not good, but you think better mid-morning than typical opening weekends.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, man, all the turkeys I kill, and I mean, it seems like year after year, and it's just like almost everything. It's like 10 to 2. That's when I kill my turkeys.
Yeah.
I mean, off the roost are gobbling.
It's like that lower pressure window. Well, what about the change between like what you grew up in, you know, eastern hunting birds to mountain birds? I mean, I've seen photos of you with toms in the snow. I mean, tell us a little bit about someone that's never experienced a high country turkey hunt.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Well,
I mean,
honestly, man.
How does it differ? How does your strategy differ?
Yeah. It's super similar to how we hunted easterns back in North Carolina. Get up on high points, shot gobbling. The thing is out here, man, is like there's not birds everywhere. Yeah. Just because you go up to 9,500 foot and get some snow, there's not going to be turkeys around. Sure. Like there's just huge swaths of land out here that doesn't have turkeys. Yeah. You know, I mean, they're not there, and especially in our valley. Yeah. It's like you can't just run up 9,500 foot and expect the turkey to be there. Yeah. Like, and it's for me personally, man, like. The shot gobbling, getting something that carries a ton of country to get those things to gobble is so key. Yeah. I think guys ride around, man, they get out of the truck and they just scratch on a box call or whatever. They're not loud enough.
Not projecting.
No. And a lot of the birds I kill out here, man, are, gosh, I mean, I'll hear them gobble. I swear, I mean, I've mapped it on Onyx. I mean, I'm hearing these birds gobble 2 miles away. Because you can get so high out here.
That you can hear it.
Yeah, and they can hear you, you know, so like, my strategy is finding high points. I use an owl screech. I just do it with my voice. Ton of owl stuff, man. I don't think there's a ton of owls out here like there are back east. So it's a sound they don't hear a lot, but they have heard it.
They will respond to it. Yeah. I heard Doug do that for the first time a few years ago in Oklahoma, and that was really interesting to hear them respond to that. Are turkeys sensitive, or do you find that they're sensitive kind of like pressured elk, where every guy that parks in the same place on the same road, will a tom be sensitive to be responding to you calling from the wrong position?
Yeah, I think so, man. To be honest, out here, these Merriams, I don't think so.
Okay.
So I think back east, and it goes back to that, and I know you hear that from everybody, but those eastern turkeys, I swear they will roost on access points, and I swear they like wait for guys to walk by, and they're like, no way. Like, I think they're literally watching access points. Like, I just think that's what they do. But out here, it just seems like they answer. If you're a good caller, throw around, and you sound decent, they're probably gonna gobble. Yeah. Like, but you know, it still doesn't kill them. You got to get in there and set up right. And I think that's huge with kind of anything, man. It's your setup. And I'm never, usually, man, when I kill these turkeys out here or anywhere, it's probably 4 or 5 yelps that I've done, and that kills them. I'm never calling until I'm like in the spot where I'm confident that I can, because I don't ever use decoys. I've never killed a turkey over a decoy.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
So I'm using terrain, man. Similar to when we went coyote hunting, just using terrain to bring those, and same thing with elk hunt, man. Like setting up in spots where you can't see far, but he's got to come over there to look, you know, and by the time he comes over, he's dead.
Well, what is your strategy, I guess, in the sense of like your setup being correct, what are you looking for? So you're long distance locating to find your birds. Okay, then you found your birds. What's next? Are you trying to figure out exactly where they roost, or what's your play after that?
I guess it would be a time of day thing.
Okay.
If it's late in the evening, then I'm going to try to figure out, well, maybe they're going to roost here, and try to get in between that. But most of my turkeys I kill, man, are midday, and there's just these lone roamers that are out. Like,
Okay.
the Tom comes down, he's got 5 or 6 hens. They go to their nest, and then all of a sudden he's strutting just in his daze, and then all of a sudden he turns around and those hens are gone. He's just like, okay. And he goes to gobbling, or he just goes and searching, man. It's similar to like a whitetail. He just goes and he's just searching. And to me, it like goes back to that long distance, man, owl screech. It's like a super high pitch, and it's something I honestly learned, like, I know it sounds crazy, but like how I talk to my dogs, like in that stupid little voice you do. Like,
Can you give us an example? See if
honestly,
the mics will
dude,
pick it up.
What's that?
Can you give us an example of it?
I can. It's super loud.
Okay, go
Let
for
me
it.
I'll turn the other way.
Okay. Okay.
Dude, yeah, that's legit.
So what that high pitch does is it just carries.
Shocks.
Dude. Well, it shocks them, but it just carries, man. You'll just hear a gobble, just barely, dude. And it's like, it comes down to like, man, like I what drives me nuts, and even my wife, dude, like loud clothing or just moving, being loud. And I know that's everything, but like when I'm calling or we're turkey hunting, like you don't even hardly breathe. And like we're not standing this close. Like I'm over there, that way I don't hear, because dude, you're just listening for just
a tiny,
you know. And out here those Merriams aren't loud, man. They're not loud, and so you're not hearing them from far, but you can if you're in the right spot doing that. So I sound like an idiot driving around. I'm sure other guys are like, what was that?
I mean,
but there they are, you know. And I've had guys literally come out of the woods and be like, I heard some crazy noise up here, and it made that. That was the first time I heard that turkey gobble, and I was like, that was me screeching, you know. And meanwhile, he's in the back of my truck. You know what I mean? Like,
that's awesome.
But that thing, man, gets him, dude. And I literally go hoarse from doing it. And I don't.
And that's what you've done. You use that for every species.
I'll use it everywhere. That's how I found that Osceola, dude.
Yeah.
Walked right in, screeched, pow, right there. You know, it's everywhere. And that, just owl hooting too, but that screech gets them, dude.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's something I learned too. Like the hunting public dudes started doing it. But it's something I heard too, younger, because it's something owls do, man. It's a territorial. I think they're fighting. I don't know exactly what it is, but I've heard them do it.
It's interesting that a turkey responds to that, right? I mean, it would make sense that it would just keep quiet at the noise of a predator, but it happens all the time. It kind of reminds me of like going into a basin. If you get into a basin for mule deer like midday, have you ever done like a coyote bark or a howl and watch a big buck stand up? Sometimes they will. It's really interesting, you know.
The dude, or they'll stand up at a marmot squeaking, and that tells them like something's there. And I've seen them stand up and look where that marmot's looking.
Yeah.
You know? But,
dude, but you'd think they'd keep quiet, right? I mean, it's an interesting instinct to make a response to the predator.
Accidental, though. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like they can't help it. It's like they hear that and it just like
startles them.
I've heard them do it at the craziest stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, slamming a car.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Or helicopter flies over, horn honks.
Oh, totally. I mean, my early experience in my turkey hunting is limited. I remember going out and sneaking along this like tree bank, and I knew where the roost was. And as we were going along, there was a storm overhead, and every time the thunder went off, all the turkeys gobbled. And I just remember just cracking up to myself, like sneaking along in the dark, and it'd be like lightning, and then it was like and I was just like, what these? I mean, and turkeys are a fascinating creature for someone who hasn't hunted them a whole lot, because I always describe them as kind of like, they're like really smart and really dumb at the same time. They have very interesting senses.
Totally.
Eyesight's obviously phenomenal, and they're very interesting birds.
Have you? I'm sure you've seen that video, but where Steven Ranella was talking to Theo Vaughn, and Theo Vaughn starts talking crap about turkeys, and he just unloads on him. Dude, I love that.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about coyotes. That's how I wanted to go off. I could care less to hunt coyotes.
Exactly. Yeah, he's big. He's a big coyote hunter. But the way he coyote hunts is the way that I would coyote hunt for sure.
But no, I think out here, man, turkey hunting out here is having a good locator call.
Yeah.
Whether it's a crow. There's so many crows out here that hear them all the time. Dude.
Yeah.
But it's like that back east too, man. But, you know, it's cool here, man. I'll call in owls, and you just don't. To me, personally, you don't.
You'll call them in.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll have them come like sit and call back to me, and sometimes when they hoot, the turkey will gobble at them, and yeah, I've called them like a lot, and you don't even see them that much out here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You just hear them, and they'll come in, or don't hear them. You just see them land, you know, above you or something. But yeah, but it's cool, man. Like I think out here covering a ton of country with locator calls, man. Because there's not turkeys everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's like when you find the pocket of them, it does seem like that's loaded.
Yeah.
Because it's like all the turkeys are there for a specific reason, whether it's water, terrain, whatever it is. But
Now, what are we thinking as far as like what are these high country birds out here in Colorado? What are they eating? What does their diet consist of this time of year?
man, I looked in all their crawls. I mean, I always just find these crazy little crickets. Kind of the normal stuff.
Like
you'll just see little
Ticks,
berries.
crickets,
Yeah,
berries,
Little
grass
berries
shoots.
this time of year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I find just kind of the normal stuff, man.
Because I wonder why. Like I always think, obviously the oak brush here is like acorn bearing too, which is not on the valley floor, but the further west you get, you know, there is some. And I don't see turkeys there. And I just was wondering, is it that oak brush that they're eating on that brings them in because they don't survive here? You know, like I've seen random birds like here throughout my life and just random places, typically in the fall. But
Yeah.
I just like, why do you think they don't live here?
I think it's too cold.
Yeah.
I think that's got a lot to do with it. I think there's more cats than a lot of people realize
Yeah,
around here. I think
for
that
sure.
take them out. I don't know, man. It's got all the same stuff I hunt.
Yeah.
And that's one of the issues with finding them out here is just like everything's kind of the same.
Yeah, exactly.
At certain elevations, it's
And
just
why
like
they wouldn't
It's
be
just
there as
either a
opposed
pocket
to
or there isn't. And the population's obviously low here. It's like, we obviously don't have birds widespread everywhere.
yeah.
I don't know. I wish they were closer, man. I've found, and occasionally I'll see them a little south of here, but it's always in the fall.
Yeah.
And I don't know if these turkeys move or like migrate.
Yeah.
I
kinda
suspect they're
sometimes-
and well, it depends. You never know. That some could be moving, but I've seen them in places that I was not expecting to see
Yeah.
them at all in
For
weird,
sure.
in weird times. But then they won't be back there the next year.
Yeah.
So they had to have been moving through,
Just
or
lost.
well, I don't know. Just changing territory or something. But yeah, I mean, we are obviously susceptible to some pretty significant winters here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, best way to eat a turkey. What's your go-to?
yeah.
Dude, my favorite's fried, man. I'm from the South, so we like.
I know.
We'd
Can't beat
dude,
turkey nugs, can
I
ya?
mean, we'd fry a car tire and eat it if we could.
That's
But
hilarious.
dude, I mean, I like a pickle brine. Just like brine them in pickle juice for a couple hours, and then I just make up like a seasoned flour and fry them.
Nice.
Nice.
I
Okay.
usually fry them in some have been frying them in some bear fat, which has been really good.
Yeah.
Or like beef tallow and fry them in that.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, throw some Chick-fil-A sauce on there, make a sandwich out of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love wild turkey. I've had lots of friends that I've had try it out, and they're always impressed about how good it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is great.
My
It
wife
is,
makes
for
like
sure.
a turkey
Particularly if you-
parmesan that's really good.
Oh, what?
A turkey parmesan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's
that's
really good.
hard.
Well,
hard
it's
to go
nice to
wrong.
just have white meat. You know, it's like my freezer's always full of red meat, so it's nice to get white meat every once in a while.
Yeah.
I wish we could get more of it because it's like with a family of 5, those 2 breasts are gonna last 2 meals. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
makes good stir fry. And then I've also taken the whole body cavity and done like my bone broth with it, and it makes such great bone broth.
Not bad, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
I've
whole
never done that.
cavity,
yeah,
once you've got the legs off and the breasts off and everything.
Yeah. I love it. That's one of the reasons I like go kill a bunch. Cause I'm just
Yeah.
like, when we want to have chicken one night, it's like pull out a turkey breast.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Do exactly what you do with a chicken.
yeah.
No, we love it.
Is there any that's better to eat?
I
in
love
your
these out
opinion?
here, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just seems wider. It seems more tender.
Yeah.
I like them out here.
Okay.
Yeah, that Osceola I killed was really good though.
Cool.
Yeah, but the cool part about that, it was the closest private that was to there, which was a little ways away, but I'm sure he spent time there, but it was just all orange groves. So I'm wondering,
Oh yeah.
dude, no joke, it was like smelling a blueberry, like eating bear. Like when I cut it open, I had my whole family smell it. It smelled like citrusy, you know. It was
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, it depends on what they're eating, what
Right.
they taste like, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, you think Eastern's hardest to hunt are the Merriam's the most physically demanding?
Yeah, no, man. I mean, dude, where I grew up in North Carolina, it's big, steep
I was gonna
stuff,
say,
dude.
you guys do have, yeah.
I mean, it's big, steep country, man. And I mean, I get into it out here, but I would say it's about the same, man. I mean, out here you're just having to walk a lot further.
Yeah.
Because back home it's like there was some big giant sections of game lands that we hunted that's thousands and thousands of acres, but a lot of the places we're hunting are, 60-acre tract or a couple hundred acres where it's like there's one little creek running through it and there's a ridge here. It's like if he's not there, he's not there. You can't just go roam around. You know what I mean? We're out here, it's like I'll go walk. I mean, shoot, a lot of my days out here are 8 and 10 mile days. You know? If I'm not striking from the road and I just feel like I need to get off the road, I turn around and I'm like 8 miles in.
But it's awesome too. That's why I really like it out here because it's such a beautiful time of year to like be out and like everything's starting to green up and like it's just for me it like scratches the itch, you know what I mean, until hunting season. It's just an awesome.
I've never done the mountain bird thing. I guess I gotta get.
We gotta go.
I gotta get one of those.
It is.
Well, dude,
every time I see a photo of Hunter with one in the snow, I'm like, that looks so.
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
It
Yeah,
is sick.
yeah. Because it's like then you kill one. You could kill one 8 miles back and be like, throw it on your back and walk out. You know what I mean? It's like
it's no cutting up.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
like game bags. It's
Yeah.
just, and that's the fun part of turkeys too. 'Cause it's like, it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's so stressful, dude. Especially the guiding aspect. It's not stressful. It's always fun, man. But there's so much stress that comes in with. It's stress that I put on myself.
Right.
For high country mule deer or elk, it's just like stress I'm putting on myself. And then it's like all that stress leads to you killing it, and then it's a whole nother stressful event getting it out, which I love. That's the funnest part about it. But it's still like, and I'm solo, and I don't trust anybody to come pack for me. So it's like, I got to figure this out, So it's like this very fun, stressful deal where turkeys just like go kill them, and walk out with it over your shoulder. Like you said,
wherever you can. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, let's talk about the calling in general. So I mean, same thing, elk and coyotes. I mean, you love that connection. Is there anything else that you love to call? I mean, I don't know.
Gosh, dude, anything that'll come to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I called in a bunch of goats in Hawaii when I was a kid, man. Like, no joke. My dad.
What got you passionate about calling?
Honestly, that, dude. I cut my teeth. Honestly, man, we lived in Hawaii. I cut my teeth there bow hunting, and I was 8 till I was 11 when I lived there.
Okay.
Or no, 9 till I was 12.
And you basically just get turned loose with a
dude.
bow, right?
Dude, and I was homeschooled there, and it was like, I'd school for a couple hours, and we'd go hunt, or I'd ride my bike down to the beach and fish. Like, that's all I did. It's all I've ever done, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be completely honest. I've lost relationships over it, but I'm just a bum, dude. That's like, it's all I do. I mean, it's all I've ever known, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And like,
and listeners don't really know that, but you do spend a incredible amount of time either fishing or hunting.
Yeah.
I mean, a substantial amount.
Yeah.
Like some people reckon they hunt and fish a lot. Hunter, you have been fortunate, but it's a...
And I shouldn't be, dude. I ain't got no money. Like, I shouldn't be like, I should not be out there as much as I am, but I just do. And like,
I mean, that's you.
I know. It's like, I can't help it, dude. It's like where I'm...
So there was something about just the goats in Hawaii early on. You figured out you could interact with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting thing to me because in South Africa, interestingly, I bet there's a lot you could vocalize with and call in. I bet there's a bunch. It's just so underexplored, right?
Yeah.
I didn't really encounter it until I heard of like white-tailed deer rattling, right, or elk calling, and all of these other stuff. Where I was like, oh, that just brings another whole aspect, which is incredibly exciting. But it was just so much later on in my hunting career. So you started that, but now you're super passionate. I mean, you call anything you can call.
Yep.
And so you just had a passion for it?
Yeah, dude, I love calling, man. A lot of times I feel like probably not the best way to kill big stuff. It's a great way to get interactions, and just to be honest, man, I mean,
encounters.
I'm no like big elk killer. I'll kill probably the first, a lot of time because I'm pressed for time. With guiding and whatnot, I've got 4 or 5 days to make it happen, or like last year I had 3 days to make it happen. And it's like, if he's legal, I want to put meat in the freezer, but I also want to have a cool experience too.
And that's what.
But calling, man, it's just such a cool way to kill stuff and interact with them, and you feel like you're part of it.
Yeah.
And it was cool in Hawaii, man, because my dad guided hunts there too. It was Mauna Kea Outfitters. He built houses there, but he was also guiding hunts on the side. And I was 9 years old going with him on every hunt, dude. And that's like where I like found a love for guiding. because I remember literally, dude, we're sitting up. I mean, it's big country out there, big lava rocks, ravine stuff, and we hunted all public there, and it's like nasty country. And we take this guy out, and I'm sitting up there glassing with a pair of fucking Tascos, like little Tasco, like something we picked up at like the military surplus store. And we had radios. My dad would just let me go. He's like, go glass for us. We're gonna go slip around these ravines, because you would kind of slip through ravines, and it's just pure lava rock. Cockroaches running everywhere. It's like nasty, weird country. I mean, but it's like beautiful. Like cockroaches in Hawaii are just normal.
Yeah.
They're like having a fly in your house. Like no joke. It's just how it is. But you creep through these ravines, and you kind of, they're smart, dude. Those up there, it was hybrid, so it was a mix between like feral and mouflon sheep. And then you had purebred mouflons on the southern point of the island. But where we got it was mostly all hybrids, but they were keyed in, dude. It's just big open lava rock fields. But I'd sit up there and just glass for my dad and like walk them in, you know, and then the clients would come up and like hand me $100 bill, you know, and it's like, as a 9-year-old, you're just like, what? Like, I can make some money doing this, you know, and I go buy a pair of like Heelys to go rip around the mall in, you know, like that's just
priorities.
Yeah, like I found a love for it early. Just I love the guiding aspect of it, and I think that's kind of what instilled it, because that guy walks up, like I said, and hands you some money for glassing them up, and it was like, that's sick, you know. But
And
so personally yourself, we've kind of talked about this a little bit. We kind of refer to it as like your hook moment, right? Like, and there's obviously a lot of different factors, but you yourself, your own gun in hand, maybe it was a pellet gun, maybe it was a rimfire, maybe it was a bow. What was just a couple of your first kind of encounters, you by yourself hunting, where you and your soul just knew that this was it, that this was going to be what you would do?
yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, my dad's had me out so early, it's like all I can remember. And I think a couple key things was going back to Hawaii. Killing stuff, dude. Just going out and just like in this beautiful country. I mean, sometimes my mom would just go drop me off. Like, we get done with school and she'd go drop me off in the jungle of Hawaii by myself. And I'm like 9 years old running around with a bow. And I don't know, like that stuff. A couple key things, man. Like I killed my first deer when I was 5, sitting on my dad's lap. And God love my dad, man. He had me out. I mean, as I was a baby, and killed my first deer with a bow when I was 8 years old. Little button buck sitting in a tree stand. Shot him right in the butt. Somehow got the femoral and smoked him.
Perfect, dude.
But dude, but that was all on film too. So for a long time, man, I had the youngest bow kill on camera for a long time.
Dang.
No kidding.
But dude, I had these big old buck teeth, man. My like adult teeth had just come in, so I like turn around the camera, it's just these big teeth shining, you know, all jacked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, little stuff like that, man, and just I don't know. It's all I've ever thought about. It's all I've ever wanted to do. I guess I don't really have a key like moments, but
it was just like
because it's all I've ever done, and it's just like when we had free time, that's what you went and did, you know. And
I know there's some people that probably would get burned out on that. Like I know some people that were like, you know, had that pushed on it, but obviously your personality is different, where it's like you knew. I mean, that's what you were doing, and
it just grew and grew.
And then like the more you learn, and because like you were talking about not doing the vocalization thing in Africa, but in Africa their tracking is far superior to us. So it's like you know, there's different things that come into it. But I mean, think about how, and that's what I'm doing with my kids too, is like getting them into it early. Like a 5-year-old, 6-year-old is going to know more than most adult men that grows up in that environment. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%, man. And that's like I said, that's what we're taking Boone. He's 3 months old to go turkey. Like we're going to have him in a little carrier.
Exactly.
I bought him a little pair of Walker's game ear that we're going to hope works when I shoot.
He's going to hate those. He's just going to be like...
He did. Yeah. We put it on him. We literally put him on him. I had the sound turned all the way up, and he just started smiling immediately, dude, because we were super loud. He just was smiling, looking around with these big old headphones on.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's
dude, I think just getting into it early, man, it's so key. And I have a lot of respect for guys that get into it later in life.
Yeah.
Because it's so much to learn. Stuff that I just look at and I'm like, well, that's what you do. We're going to go do
Second
this.
nature.
It's actually a really good point. You know, you kind of take for granted what you've accumulated in knowledge and instinct over years and years when you get somebody who starts hunting when they're in their 20s, in their 30s. You know, for sure. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's so much to take in, man. I mean,
much.
You got a wealth of knowledge now out there, but until you're in that situation, you're like, what do I do?
The only way to learn is to mess up, is what I tell people. It's
Exactly.
like, got to make those mistakes to learn, you know.
Yep.
It's like, but the earlier you start, the less you make those mistakes in the future, you know.
Yeah, 100%, man.
And it wasn't like when I was growing up, like hunting didn't seem like it was. It's like definitely made a resurgence, I feel like, in the last 10 years as far as popularity goes, you know. But it's like it wasn't a real popular thing when I was young, you know. But then now those guys later in life are like, man, I'd really like to get into hunting, and it's like, yeah, but I mean, like you said, you got to have a lot of respect for those guys because it takes a lot to learn at that point, you know.
100%, man. It's just a lot to take in, especially out here, dude, because you're putting in so much effort just to find
and
something.
Opportunities are limited as well. You know, that's the other, like you growing up a little bit in Hawaii, it's a game-rich environment, right, to some degree. That is also a factor, you know. Lots of guys that are, let's say, out west, you know, you might get one deer tag a year. You might get maybe only two big game tags in a year. So your exposure, you know, is just so much more condensed over somebody who can shoot, you know. I mean, you can just shoot a bunch of goats and pigs and stuff over there. And that's a factor, which is tricky to, you know, so even if you have been exposed to it, it takes a while to kind of, you know, learn your way through just so many of those mistakes and stuff like that.
But dude, you gotta go hunt and make those mistakes.
Yeah.
Man. Like, it drives me nuts. Even some guys around here, just being blunt, where it's like, dude, you're like 20 years old. You hadn't killed a bull, but all you're waiting for is like a 340 or something. It's like, dude, you need to go like shoot a 4x4 in the side and like do that a few times. And
everything. I've always been an advocate for that. Shoot a cow, I mean, when I first came out here, I was happy with any elk, right? I mean, I didn't have to kill a bull, and you do see that a lot. And I think people, obviously everyone's got a different aptitude and a different goal, but I mean, you see it a lot with, obviously guiding, you see it a lot where someone ends up with the tag that might have taken them, let's just say, for example, 10 years to draw, right? But that guy doesn't have 9 prior years of elk hunting experience under his belt.
Exactly.
So he actually squanders his good opportunity by not being experienced. Had that guy hunted maybe 3 public land hunts over the course of that, he'd be in an infinitely better position than the guy that turns up with you. Obviously, having a great guide is a factor, but still, you've got that barrier between.
You can only do so much.
Yeah, exactly. You can only do so much, for sure.
Yeah, it kind of drives me nuts with that, man, because we grew up, like, North Carolina. It's like you get 5 deer tags, a bunch of turkey tags, bear tags, like, and we just went out and filled them all at a young age. And it's like, man, you're getting so many of those. And that goes back to even deer in North Carolina are on another level, dude. I know it's like you hear all these Eastern guys saying this, but it's true, dude. Like, they're cagey. It reminds me of, like, I've never hunted coos deer, but how it looks. It's like coos deer in steep mountain woods. Yeah. They're looking up in trees for you. Like, they're cagey, dude. And growing up, but there it goes back to just reps in the field, you know, of having close experiences, especially with bow hunting. It's like, you just got to get so much experience, man, before you're not necessarily dialed in, but just you learn from your mistakes. Like,
it is a factor now in our modern society of social media and everything. I think people see, you know, these pinnacles of success, you know, a photo of me with something, or you with something, or some influencer of some sort, right? But no recognition of kind of the groundwork that went into that. And you do see that maybe with a couple of the new hunters, like you said, like they may have this expectation of like a mature, bigger class bull without kind of that passion for just time in the woods, just that. And I think that's a good thing for some of the younger hunters, is just get out there and do it. Like that's the key.
And don't be scared to make mistakes, because you are going to make mistakes. So you just got to limit those where you can, but the only way to learn where to limit those is to do it.
And you've got to seek opportunity. Nothing's going to be just the best opportunity. You have to take every opportunity you get. Over-the-counter tag here, a public. I mean, you're basically branching out now into other western states to hunt unknown public land because you're seeking another opportunity for something that you're passionate about. So,
dude, and growing up, if we weren't hunting deer, we were hunting groundhogs.
And
like, whatever, dude, whatever moved and we could legally kill, we're gonna go hunt it. And it's like sneaking up behind a groundhog, that waiting for him to come out of his hole, I mean, with a bow, and everybody around that drives around with a gun shooting at these things, and they're smart too. And it's like, I'm out there 6 years old sneaking up to a hole,
doing
like,
that too.
I'm just you just got to go hunt. And I think too, like going to coyotes, man, like coyotes, when you hunt coyotes, man, like the better you get at coyote hunting, the better hunter you get. 100%.
My brother says that too. He's like, just, I mean, as far as shooting too, he's like, I mean, talking about a small body, moving target typically, he's like, nothing will make you better than
And some
shooting
pressure,
coyotes.
right? That there's an
Yeah.
instinct that comes from hearing the distress sound, like instinctively your body will amp up.
Yeah.
Especially if you take someone for their first few times, then seeing an animal aggressively coming at you it adds an additional pressure that it is very valuable. It definitely carries over.
Yep.
So tell us a bit about your coyote hunting. I mean, I've always been kind of an advocate of like coyote hunting as a management tool, particularly if you're a passionate deer hunter or something like that, but not everyone does it. And as a matter of fact, we have very few set, strict predator hunters in at least our valley here, particularly. I mean, you might single-handedly kill more coyotes than collectively the rest of the I'm not joking.
Every day
pretty
I see
insane.
a photo of a hunter with like 6 coyotes. Like,
I mean, it's pretty wild. Over the course
wild.
of a season, I mean, you might be killing a couple hundred dogs. How'd you get into that? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, honestly, man, out here, I never hunted them until I moved out here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty like a pretty new adventure, I guess, for me, or a new experience for me. But I don't know. I've always seen it. We had a caller. I had a funny story. We had a caller when we lived in Nebraska and Kansas, and we'd go out all the time. We'd never killed any, but every night you'd go out and they're everywhere. You know, we never killed them. And my dad's a great hunter. He taught me everything. He's a killer dude, but we couldn't kill coyotes. And it was like driving us nuts. And we kind of gave up on it, where it was just like, we can't do it unless you're doing it at night like everybody. And that always stuck in my head, man, as a kid. I was like, man, but there's guys doing it. And these guys are killing, you know, say other Western Nevada and stuff, they're killing 30, 40 a night. And it's like, I should be able to kill 5 in a day if they're killing 30 at night, you know, like, but coming out here, dude, like, I don't know, it just got into it. I picked up just a cheap little Fox Pro, and I hunted 4 full seasons without calling one in. Never called one in. And I maybe was calling them in, but I didn't know it. I hunted 4 years without killing one, and it was driving me nuts, dude, because I'm just like, why? Because you see all these guys like your Randy Anderson or Jeff Nimnick now with Lucky Duck. I mean, you see these guys on these YouTube videos where it's like they flip the call on and they're just cool. I mean, it's just crazy. I'm like, why? And I know they're here, and I'd go out and locate. And something that helped me out here, man, was shed hunting a ton, and I found a ton of dens.
Yeah.
So I got kind of some knowledge on where a lot of the coyotes are going to be hanging out. And they're not always around that den, but that's usually their core area. So that helped me a ton, is finding those den sites. But man, just got into it more and just putting more effort into it. And I think where a lot of guys mess up around here is just, you want to go kill coyotes, man, you got to put some effort into it.
Well, see, that's exactly what you were just talking about. Like, you don't see the groundwork. All you see is the grip and grins of Hunter with 6 coyotes. You don't know that he went through 4 years of not killing a coyote to learn.
That takes some dedication, for
absolutely.
sure.
But it drove me nuts, dude, because everything else I'd hunted in life, I'd kind of not figured out, but I was able to kill something, you know, and like these coyotes, and they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's not everywhere. It's not, our valley doesn't have a lot of coyotes like other places. And we have a lot, but not like places in Nevada or Arizona even. But yeah, dude, I think, getting into coyotes, man, and hunting something that you don't even know is there is something that you can learn so much from. I think you're walking into a spot, and I think that goes all back to, there's so many little things I'm doing, man, and it's all super easy, common sense stuff. Like when guys reach out to me and message me and they're like, how are you doing this? Like, I've been out all season, I called one in and missed or whatever. And I'm like, I give them everything, dude, because the key to me too is like, the more coyotes everybody else is killing, the less educated coyotes I have to deal with. Yeah. If you're going out and calling them in, setting up wrong, and they're coming in and smelling you every time, then I have to deal with that. And so it's like, I'm going to give you everything. So go kill them, because I'm going to go kill them no matter what. And I'm going to give you the whole recipe to what I do. And yeah, if you're listening out there, I want to know how to kill coyotes, message me, because I'll give you the recipe.
It's a really, really fun thing to do. I mean, I've got...
Chicken might be unplugged.
Everything okay?
Guys, we'll be right back. All right, guys. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties. We're just some rednecks trying to put together a podcast. So, yeah, we're back live. But yeah, we're talking about coyote hunt.
Yeah, dude. I think I was, before it cut out, just talking about little things, man. Yeah, like I said, I have guys message me asking, I think the number one question I get is what sound are you using? And it's like, it's so like not it. I use a bunch of different sounds. I think the little things in coyote hunting is huge. Obviously hiding the truck, man, is huge. Like a lot of times if I can hide the truck, I'm making a stand. Those coyotes know trucks. Everybody drives around, shoots at coyotes from the truck. I mean, that's just how it is. And coyotes are smart, man. They just know that it's danger. Setup is everything, man. With coyotes, it's everything, dude. And that might be like whether you're setting up on a ridge system or where you're overlooking a, huge valley, or it's moving from me to you to set up on the other side of piece of a sage so I can see where I think they're going to come. But it's playing the wind with coyotes, man. Andy, you saw it, dude. When we went, it's like,
Yeah.
I worry about the wind, but I don't at the same time. I've killed so many coyotes with the wind right at my back. And I personally believe, and I actually learned this from a guy named Steve Kreiner. His brand is it's called the Dog Soldier. And it gives those coyotes confidence to come in when they can get the wind. Everybody's worried about getting the wind right in their face. And if you learn how to set up properly, you're not worried about that, because the main thing in coyotes, man, is every coyote will end up downwind. I mean, they just will. Whether they see you, whatever happens, that coyote's going to go check the wind. So it's always important having that lane downwind where you can shoot 200, 300 yards. And setting up properly for that. And that may be, like I said, the wind right at your back, but knowing where the coyotes
But you're going to kill that coyote prior to him catching your wind. That's
man.
the idea of the setup.
Yep. And it gives him confidence where it's like, okay, if I roll in there to that sound, I can just get the wind quick and figure it out. And by that time, he's dead. And it's somewhat knowing where you think the coyotes are going to be laid up, because this is all daytime, man. I never hunt at night. I mean, it's all daytime stuff. So figuring out where these coyotes are going to lay up, and they do the same thing like deer and elk do. They go bed up. They're out hunting through the night, through the morning. But honestly, man, I think it's the same thing. Like I like correlate it almost with lake trout, where they're going to get hungry midday. If they fed all night and they lay up in the morning, like I kill a lot of coyotes early morning, but I kill most of my coyotes in that midday period, man. They get up, they're hungry, man. They're hungry by, just like us, we want some lunch at noon. It's like they're hungry in midday, and I kill a ton midday, man. I think with coyotes, man, it makes you such a better hunter. It just hunting something that you have no clue is there, I think makes you a better hunter, because you're like setting up without even knowing. And it comes back to like woodsmanship, man. And I think that's where a lot of it's just. And that's me being in the woods my whole life, but it's like little tiny things, man. It's just so key with coyotes, dude. But it's all common sense stuff when I explain it. The guys are like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like I've been parking and stepping 20 feet from the truck and calling, and it's like that coyote, as soon as he peeked the ridge over there to come, he saw the truck and he's not coming. Like it's just, and I'm no joke, dude. Listen, I had one stand I did this year. I did one stand where I didn't hide the truck where I felt comfortable hiding it, where there was one little ridge that. And that's the thing with hiding the truck, man. You got to be either on your map. I mean, when I'm riding around, I'm on onX, and I'm in 3D mode if I can. But you've got to be anticipating where they're coming from, so you know where to hide the truck. And it's impossible kind of to do, but you just learn that over doing it. But I parked in one spot, man. This is the only stand, and it drove me nuts. I was walking in there. I was like, this fucking truck's not hid. And it drove me nuts. And what happens, dude? I literally turn the call on, 3 minutes in, coyote pops up 600 yards on top of the ridge. Because I'm parked, and I'm like, I can see that ridge up there, and I'm like, coyote comes right there, he sees the truck, and we're done. What's he do? He rolls right up to that ridge, sits down for 30 minutes. I flip through every sound in the book. Nothing. He just saw the truck and sits down, dude. And I get a ton of people messaging me, man, that are like, I have coyotes come in, but they sit down really far away. Well, they're seeing the truck, or they're seeing your gun shining, or they're seeing something. Like, he probably came from a long ways away. And I used to run through too, man, with sound choice. I used to be super particular on like creating a scenario, which I don't anymore.
I know I've also changed my strategy on that, but there's variables to that, right? Because there are times where that is necessary. the other is you're getting with coyote hunting. I mean, when you and I went out, I mean, shit, it was like sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of repetition. You're getting a lot of experience in setup, strategizing that setup. So you're thinking about wind direction, what can see you, what can't, are you silhouetted or not, where are they coming from, and you're doing that every 45 minutes
Right.
across the day.
Yep.
So it's a lot of time. You know, it's
Yep.
not like setting up to call elk once or twice a day.
Yep.
And so that
Or
and that
once or
does
twice a
correlate
season.
to a lot of other hunting scenarios where it becomes second nature. You kind of like, oh, someone can see me there or can't see me here, or vice versa. The wind's going to be doing this.
Yep.
And that
Yep.
does give you
It does. It correlates so much to elk hunting, man. Especially calling elk in dark timber, which is what I like, where I like to be calling. And it's like, man, have a lane downwind. It just, man, it translates to everything though. Only thing it doesn't translate well to is like high country mule deer, because you're obviously not calling.
Yeah.
Anything you can call in, man, it's like coyotes will just, man, it does, like you said, it becomes second nature where you roll into the setup. And there again, I guess I had never made that like connection, what you said, of doing that so many times throughout the day. And here, you know, it gets dark so quick during that time of year, because I'm hunting them usually October to December. I kind of switch gears and start fishing for lake trout through the ice after that. But I'm hunting them a few months, and it's like I'm hoping to get maybe 10 stands in a day. And if I can average killing 5 coyotes in 10 stands, I'm pretty happy with that. But some days you roll out and you kill 9 or 10 of them, man. And it's like, but Andy saw it when we went, like, they can get in the truck quick. Like the right stand, like
we were getting excited by 10 o'clock that morning. We were thinking of 10 coyote
oh
day.
yeah, dude, because it's like, man, here comes a double. Andy rolls a double with the shotgun, which is one of the sickest things I've sat back and watched. It was the quickest
Yeah, it was so
shot.
fun.
That was
so fun.
as soon as he told me that, I was like, oh, I could be a coyote hunter.
Yeah.
You know, it was like,
Yeah.
that's
Well, I'd always
different.
done just the, odds and ends with the rifle, and I'd seen all these photos of Hunter where you'd carry your gun and your shotgun. And I was like, man, it would be so cool to kill a coyote with a shotgun. So I got with Hunter, and I was like, man, I just want to bring the shotgun. And you were like, no, bring your, I was like, nah, it's shotgun or nothing. Very first stand, I mean, shit, we went out 15 minutes, set up, and this big male comes just flying in. And of course, I'm still,
Well, I remember he was under a crow.
Yeah.
He came in, there was a crow flew in.
That's right.
And I looked right under the crow, and here he comes out the road under the
And
crow.
I didn't know the
So
distance,
what's the-
I'm kind of thinking like, because I'm thinking like, I just wasn't sure. I never shot one with it, and we were waiting, and Hunter's like, don't move, kill it now, and I'm like, now, okay, bang, shoot, roll that one up. And then it was later in the morning, we had these 2 where we set up, Hunter's like, we can't move, like, we're completely exposed. We're literally sitting in sage, like back to back, right next to each other. And that call had
It
been
was
gone
wide
for.
open. We had like a
there was
piece of
nothing.
sage that
There was
big, and
no
we're just like
cover. But
laying in it.
where we were set up, coyotes literally had to be on us right before they could be in our
So
position.
that was the shotgun spot. That
Oh,
was
it
like
was
the
so
perfect
good, yeah.
shotgun
That-
I think I told
really
Andy
enjoyed
walking
that.
in, because it was super windy, I remember. We were calling this huge flat, but there was this little creek bottom there. And I was like, man, these coyotes are laid up out of the wind. Like, it's going to happen quick. And it was. I mean, as soon as I turned the call on, I like looked at Andy and looked to my left, and they're barreling into the left. I'm like, to the left. I actually had to like lay down so he could shoot. But
And
Andy rolled him
what are you
up, buddy.
shooting on? Are you shooting like buckshot? Or what are you
Yeah,
shooting?
21 pellet buckshot.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, that was fun. That was super fun. Well, tell me, I mean, you've had a lot of experience to that craziest encounters coyote hunting.
Dude, yeah, honestly, man, it had to be that mountain lion.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
So epic. Tell us
Yeah.
about
Hunter's
that.
got a sweet video.
Yeah, it was. Gosh, man, it wasn't far from where you live, like I was telling you, but, dude, yeah, set up, like, literally turned the call on. I'd set up it was super windy, overlooking a huge kind of big bowl in here, in this just big bowl. It kind of went down to a big creek bottom, big aspen grove here, but I'm set up like in this cliff with these like, craggy like rocks around me, and I only set the call. And that's another thing too, man, is like, I could go on for days about coyote hunting with like certain little things, but like call placement is huge.
Yeah.
So I'm always putting that call upwind. So when coyotes are circling to get downwind, they end up right in your lap. Where most guys, they don't think about that. They just walk out, they set the call down. But when that coyote wants to circle for wind, it puts him way out here to the left, 150 yards, where if you'd have put that call 75 yards upwind, like, he's in your lap when he goes to circle for it, because he's going to circle for that sound. He don't know you're there if you're not moving. Like, he's going to circle for that sound. But anyway, so it was windy. It was honestly late in the day, and what I was doing, man, I had located a giant pack of coyotes, man. It was like 7 or 8 coyotes together, and I was trying to find my route to them. It took me forever to get over there. Like I thought, like on Onyx, I was like, I can be over there in like an hour. It took me like 4.5 hours to get over there, and just a rough road. I think I made a stand or two in between there because they were answering me. The coyotes were answering me across this big valley, and it was too far to shoot, and I just like, I got to get over there. And I knew if I got over there, they'd come. And so I finally drive over there, dude, and get set up where like these coyotes were. And I only set the call like 10 yards from me. I don't know if it was probably 8 yards, 8 yards from me. And I literally flipped the call on, dude, and I'm playing it like full volume. It's ripping like 30-mile-an-hour winds. I'm ripping full volumes. That thing's sitting there screaming. I literally, dude, like I'm sitting. I think I wasn't holding the shotgun in that stand, which I normally do. Like if I'm running the shotgun, I hold the shotgun. Like can't tell you how many times, dude. Like so many times. It's unbelievable. Like that coyote's there. I've watched coyotes stand up out of their bed and shoot them at 40 yards. Like, but that's another thing with getting in quiet, like just sneaking in, like not breaking sticks, not talking, getting in quiet, sitting up quiet, like everything's slow and just quiet. And I can't tell you how many times though, man, I've turned the call on and just like literally hit the button and look to my right and he's 40 yards running to me. And it's just like click the button, turn and shoot, and it's done. But anyway, turned the call on and just like literally look to my right, because I'm always scanning slowly, you know, looking for coyotes, obviously. I like look to my right, I just flipped the call on, look to my right and look to my left, and it's like yellow grass right there, you know, like looks like this grizzly bear fur. But yeah, like pretty tall. And deer come to my call all the time too, just thinking it's a fawn, I guess. Like running, all weird, bouncing and like snorting at it. I've had them knock it over. But I'm like, I turn to my left and I just see something like big and brown, like from just about me to Andy. And my first thought was deer, but then I'm like, it could be a coyote. So I'm like, I think I had the rifle like laid on my lap, but I had the shotgun like laid here. So I immediately just kind of like clicked the safety off to go to shoot, and I like turn, and it's just I mean, it wasn't a giant cat, but it's like, they're all big when they're that close, you know? And I look, dude, I'm just like,
in your lap.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you know, I just like freeze, but it has no idea I'm there, and it's just like locked on the call, which ain't far, it's, you know, 8 yards from me. And I have my little decoy on top going. And dude, it just, I've got seen the video, but it just stalks the call, like jumps right in front of me, like 5 yards in front of me, and just jumps straight to the call. Dude, it's literally like sitting there like playing with the call almost. It's like on the little whirly bird up top, it's like rubbing its head on it like this. It's like licking the call. And then the call kind of changes tune, and it like puts its claw up there, its big paw up there, and just like folds the call over. And it's sitting there just like almost playing with it. It picked it up actually with its mouth. But, and then I think I was getting a little like, this is getting weird, like, because they sketched me out, you know. So I like picked the shotgun up and just was like ready to, if it's coming, like I may have to bust this thing, you know. But just aimed at it, and it's caught me like out of the corner of its eye and saw me and ended up slinking off. But yeah, dude, it was just
there's a
freaking
second
out.
in that video where you watch it, like it catches it in peripheral, and you can see it like slowly turn over, and you know in that moment you're kind of like, is that like like that's is it gonna run or come?
Yeah,
you
I know, dude. I think you see me in the video,
such
like
an epic
lift it.
experience, and that encounter so close must have been just crazy.
Was that your phone though that you were recording on? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's crazy too, to even reach for the phone
Dude,
at that point.
Well, he was so close, it was like I'm reaching for the gun or my phone, but he was so locked on the call. I was like, I might as well film this. Like, he's not looking at me.
That was just such an epic encounter. I mean,
but I'm like, how many times has that happened? I don't even know it.
Yeah, I've wondered that a lot. You know, where you wonder how many times a cat's kind of come in and posted up somewhere and then sat and watched you. You know,
and it could be a reason a coyote don't come in.
Yeah.
They roll in, the cat's sitting there behind you. You have no clue it's there. It sees the line and leaves or whatever. You know, like there's so many situations. But but yeah, dude, like, the coyotes, man. I think it. I love my coyotes, man, but it makes you a better hunter. It's a quick target acquisition with aiming. You know, where it's just, man, everything's pretty quick. But man, coyotes too, reading body language and like getting into shotgun range. Like I killed more this year with a shotgun than I have in any year. But that was just like, let's see what I can do with them. But you learn, I think guys mess up, they don't learn the body language of a coyote. And they always think that coyote's gonna leave. So it's like he gets 200 yards, pull the rifle up and shoot him. And most of the time, dude, it's probably your best bet to kill that coyote, because I've had it go haywire trying to let him get into shotgun range.
Yeah.
Where it's like all of a sudden, like there's 3 of them coming, and if I'd have just stopped them out at 100 yards, I probably would have dumped 2 of them. But they catch me reaching for the shotgun when they're at 25, and they split out, and I'm just don't know where to shoot, and I miss them all or something, you know. And it's like, if I'd have stopped them out there at 100, I know I would have killed 1.
Yeah.
But I tried to get greedy. But you learn so much from 200 yards in. You learn so much about their body language, whether they're coming in slow or they're just hard charging everything. But you learn so much of, like, he's looking at the call, he's walking towards the call, just let him come, dude. You know, like, he's not trying to get out of here. But I think sound choice, man, real quick, I play a super simple, like, it's no anymore, man. I used to play this sequence where I was trying to, like, you know, like another coyote, like I used to howl a bunch, and like that just don't work that great for me, because you always see it in the videos, guys set up and they do a big long howl, and then 2 minutes later they go to rabbit and they play rabbit for like a minute, and then they shut it off for 2 or 3 minutes and they sit there, and then they flip rabbit back on for another minute, and it's like 5 minutes later after that, then they're playing pup distress, dude. Anymore, man, I think, and there's certain sound that's going to trigger them to come, and you might as well just run through it. I don't think these coyotes are old enough. Most of them are not old enough to sit there and be like, they can't put together what's happening. They're not old enough to be like, that was too quick of a change. Like in sounds, like I'm not going because it sounded weird. Like they don't know how loud that rabbit can scream. They've probably not killed that many rabbits. You know what I mean? Like I don't think they're putting it together like that. And I used to think that, and they are very smart, but anymore, man, it's like I'm going rabbit probably first for a few minutes and never even pausing it, and I'll go straight into pup fights and like pup distress. And I kill more with coyote vocal sounds. And I think the reason is because that they grow up, man, from the time they're born, they're fighting in the den, their mom's bringing them stuff, they're fighting over stuff. They're always hearing coyote noises. It may be years before they kill a rabbit. Yeah. Or no, probably not. I mean, they're out there killing stuff, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
It may be a long time before they hear what you're playing. So I think playing something that I kill 90% of my coyotes with coyote vocals.
It's also a game of, I mean, I've also had fun with that over the years where you would try to build a scene, you know, like even throwing in crows in there and, you know, making it sound like there's a kill, and which has worked. There are times when, you know, you'll have dogs that are kind of they're weary, and then that'll kind of like it'll just coax them in enough to be like, okay, if that's there, then, you know, now I feel comfortable enough. But it's also a numbers game. It's like, I mean, I'm the same now. I literally, and it kind of feels bad, but it's like I'll go there and I'll just go to rabbit. I won't change the volume. I will sometimes, and I won't even pause it anymore. I'll just run it, because what you find is it's actually the setup that's more critical than anything, and they're either coming or they're not. That's kind of, and then it's a game of repetitions. Like how many times you do that in a day? It's like, do you have 2 or 3 perfect setups, or in the sense of like a really complicated call set, or do you cover all the basics, but you have 10 setups in a day and you just run the sequence, you know? And so obviously that is a factor.
And once I find what they're coming to, I'm going to play that every stand. You know, I mean, it's not like they came to rabbit 3 stands in a row. I'm going to go sit and be like, oh, let's try a bird or something. It's like, I'm going to just run that same thing. And anymore, it's like I hardly even worry about volume. I used to be super weird with volume. Like, I think most guys sit out and they run it on full volume all the time, which I was always like against doing that.
Yeah.
But anymore, man, I'm leaning more towards that. I've played with that over the years, where it's like obviously the louder the volume, the more country you're covering. And it's like the more I'm like, I sit down and rip it on full volume.
Call placement can have a big factor on how the sound travels as well. Like elevating the call and which direction it faces can affect things for sure. It's pretty interesting.
That's that lucky duck call is awesome, man, because you can spin it, and I'll usually sit there and spin it for the first few minutes. You can spin it 180, and it's got a tripod, so it sits up off the ground. I actually bought just like an aftermarket, like cheap tripod on Amazon, so it sets up a little higher. Dude, I think the more country you can cover anymore. I used to just like ease the volume up, and then I just wasn't killing a lot, and the more volume I've added, the more I'm killing. Not overthinking it, dude. Overthink your setup and hide in the truck. Don't overthink the sound.
Yeah, and that's what we've talked about. That we give a lot of credit and we overthink a lot on any species, elk, whitetail. Like we almost give them too much credit sometimes, when you're overthinking it, and that's just in your head that you're doing that. It's like
it's not a bad trait to have. You just have to be able to also overthink it, but then tune in what actually works and what doesn't, and where to actually spend your time and energy on that. Well, on behalf of like all the deer hunters in the valley, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, this
serious
guy
dent in the population.
Well,
Mercs,
man, it's got to be done, man.
Yeah.
And guys always ask me like, what if the fur prices suck this year? They're like, why are you still hunting them? I'm like, because I'm just life hunting them, dude. Like, if the fur's worth nothing or not, like I'm gonna go hunt them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And they need to be hunted, man.
Absolutely.
I think they kill more deer than guys realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially these big coyotes out here. I've watched them do it, dude.
Yeah.
I've killed coyotes, call them off. I used to hunt in the summer a lot, and I call them off, antelope fawns. I've called in several, man, that come in carrying antelope fawns, and kill them. I killed one time. I watched them do it. I was sitting out there. They were like 800 yards out there chasing. It was 3 of them chasing these antelope fawns around, and it was. I hate watching that stuff, dude. Like I can't even hardly and I killed a lot of stuff, but I scroll on something. I'm watching a video of nature take place. I almost can't watch it. Yeah. And I know it sounds weird. It's hard for me to watch a wolf kill a buffalo or something.
Yeah.
It kills me because I don't know. I'm just that way. But literally, man, it's killing me to watch this. And they were nipping at them and rolling these antelope fawns, rolling them, dude. And the mom was rolling around. They were stomping the coyotes. And literally, dude, I turned the call on, and they just peeled out of there. But I lost kind of vision of them. And the one coyote came over and it had the antelope fawn in its mouth, kicking like this, dude. And literally, dude, I had to shoot it. I didn't want to kill the antelope fawn. It was crazy. I didn't want to kill the antelope. It was dead facing me. And I actually let that coyote spook a little bit, and I shot him running right in the butt, so I didn't shoot that antelope fawn. And it obviously spit the fawn out. And the fawn was alive, and the mom came over there, dude, and they both were fine and walked off, and it was crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah,
it was really cool.
I mean, antelope are definitely more vulnerable than almost anything else. I mean, they're just small little creatures. That's I always wonder here about our antelope population. I've never even considered that, honestly. But I've seen golden eagles dive bomb antelope too, which is crazy to watch. You realize how big a golden eagle is when you see it spread wing.
Well, the subset of predator hunters also is fairly small if you think about it, right? I mean, it's how many really keen hunters, even for yourself, as an example, it's it's not something that's high on your list, and for a lot of guys, there just aren't that many, right? Mm-hmm. You've got kind of your mountain lion guys with dogs, you got some pretty keen coyote hunters, but outside of that, there's not a lot of predator hunting that occurs in our west here, except for a small segment of the hunting community.
Yep. They go out, they're not putting effort into it. They want to go kill coyotes and be this coyote killer, but they're parking the truck, they walk 40 yards, and I'm not saying I do that sometimes. It's if I can hide the truck and just pop over a hill 10 yards from my truck, I've killed a bunch doing that.
Yeah.
But some stands I'm walking a mile into.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone's serious. Some people are just, which is why all the the spots close to town and get hammered, and the easy to access spots get hammered.
But that's where I'm killing them, dude.
Yeah.
I'm killing them in everybody's backyard.
I've also killed some so close where it's kind of in that same realm of
And I know they've been called.
Yeah. Do you kill a mule deer 10 miles in, or do you kill it, a couple of 100 yards from?
Then he's been living there for 5 years, next to
valley bottom floor.
Well, it's reading sign too, man. Real quick, I know Connor's let's quit talking.
No, I'm enjoying this. No, just honestly, this is very informative for me.
Me and Heidi, man, we went out 1st of October. We went out to walk the dogs where everybody walks their dogs. Everybody walks their dogs. Everybody's recreating out there, mountain biking. You know where it's at. We're walking the road. There's coyote shit everywhere. I told Heidi, I'm coming back tomorrow and I'm going to kill these. Dude, roll in there, first stand, kill a double, roll, half a mile down the road, roll into another stand, kill a triple the next time. I killed 5 on that. And that's just reading that sign was there's fresh coyotes shit in the road. I don't care where we're at. It's public. I can hunt. I'm going to go kill them.
Now, did you get any grief? Because that place is chock full of antis, I imagine, too.
No, dude. Nobody was out. It was literally, I was out of there at daylight just about. I mean, it was 2 stands like that, and I killed 5 of them and got out of there. Not that I needed to get out of there. But
right.
But nobody saw me, but it's little stuff like that, man, and cool stuff, man. Like I've seen in coyote hunt, man. It's awesome. Like reading birds too. Like there's so many coyotes that come in under birds.
So that's
man.
what I was gonna ask you. Like you said with him, that crow's above that. So
You're
that
always
relationship
looking, and you
is,
call in lots of birds anyway. Like you'll call in
Yeah.
hawks, you'll call in crows, you'll call in eagles. I mean, owls sometimes.
Yep.
You call in a lot, but yeah. I mean, I remember actually the first. Well, it wasn't the first, but one of the bobcats I killed had magpies. 2 or 3 magpies swooping over it.
Yep.
That's what gave it, and I knew it was this tall grass though, and I was like, something's coming in there. And generally they don't necessarily do that real close.
Diving.
But magpies don't like, I don't know if it's they don't like him, but now I've seen enough of their body language. Like if I see 2 or 3 magpies acting that way, I know there's a cat.
Yep.
They do that with mountain lions, and they do that with, like you've seen it before, like a mountain lion sitting off a kill. When they start to move, the magpies start to, like they fuss over them, right, over the top of them. I've been before where I've like parked the truck and I'm like, those magpies are acting really weird, you know, get up, glass up there, it's like mountain lion, you know, walking along. But for sure, you know, sometimes.
Yeah.
And birds play that role, and I mean, we used to do that with water buffalo in the floodplains in Australia. The egrets, the big white egrets,
Yeah, the ones that
they love to sit on the back of buffalo, right? You know, and you could like be glassing along this like big, you know, tall grass floodplain. You'd be glassing and glassing, and all of a sudden there's an egret, right? You can't see anything else, and you're like, there's a buffalo underneath that bird because it's
cool,
not
dude.
sitting on an ant mound.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
Okay, have you killed a lion off of a stand?
No, I haven't, man.
Was the quota open when you had that one?
I
come in
didn't
this
even
year?
look. I think it was.
Okay.
But I didn't have a tag or anything.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
I mean,
I should.
Yeah,
It's
how
always
many-
been a goal of mine.
But is that the only one you've called in on a stand like that?
Yeah.
that you know about.
Yep.
Yeah,
that I
that
know
you know
about.
about,
I
yeah.
know it's had to happen a bunch, man. But yeah, it's the only one I've like seen. But yeah, it's such a cool interaction, man. Him coming and knock it, because I've had just about everything I've called in's come and knocked that call over, but to have a mountain lion do it was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
But it was like playing with it, which was weird to me. But
yeah, that is kind of.
and it was tagged. It did have a tag.
Yeah, I
this
was
year.
gonna say, didn't it? Was it collared too?
I didn't. No, with no collar, it just had
Okay.
a tag.
Oh,
Because they were
interesting.
doing that. They were doing that lion study, and a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But so there might have been one left over or something.
One of the girls I think that worked on that from the college, maybe she messaged me and asked if I could see the number on it. I was like, I fucking hope I could see the
Yeah,
number on
exactly.
this.
Yeah, I was
I'm getting a little
close
too
enough.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, you definitely were close enough
Yeah.
to see that. Yeah, it's probably the
yeah.
last thing you were worried about taking note of.
Yeah.
Number
yeah,
73,
yeah,
you wrote this
exactly.
down.
There was one time after deer season, I went to go look where I had seen a nice buck like the last couple of days of 4th, and I went in there and I was like, I'm gonna go lion hunting, but I wanted to go look at that buck. Well, I got above those deer, and I couldn't see what the buck was, so I had a fawn in distress mouth call, and I started hitting that fawn in distress mouth call, and those deer started running one way and then started running the other way, and I looked in the timber and that lion was coming. And because I went lion hunting, but then I was like, I got to go look at this buck. I'm 200 yards above him, 150 yards above him. Left my gun in the truck. So I just scrambled
remember.
back to the truck. I
Telling
mean, I
me
was
about
like,
that scenario,
I was
yeah.
moving. As soon as I saw that flash in the timber, I'm like, because I'm further from the truck than I am from the lion, and I'm like, yeah, I ran back. But yeah, just a fawn in distress call, and I
Yep.
was trying to call in those deer. I wanted to see if those fawns would come out or those does would come out of the timber, so I could see what that buck was. But yeah,
It's a
that
good
was-
way to hunt deer.
Yeah,
Dude, I've called in some giants. Like, here comes all the does, like middle of the rut. Here comes all the does, and then just he's gonna follow 'em. It's like, it's not a bad way to like check a canyon.
I
you know
did.
What I mean?
I did it on the Eastern Plains when I hunted mule deer on the Eastern Plains, and those deer were way more susceptible to the fawn in distress call. And I wonder if it's because their lack of like big predators. Like like I said, I've tried to call them in here, and it works sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. But I think the presence of lions here may deter those deer from coming in, as opposed to the Eastern Plains. They ran in when I
crazy.
hit that call.
Yeah, because
So,
they're probably not hearing it a
yeah,
bunch.
yeah, exactly.
They have to hear it all the time here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Another note on the calling, I got a couple stories from Australia, and then let's dive into some fishing stuff.
I was
'cause it's
gonna
kinda
say,
fun.
I wanted to
then
see
we'll
where
come
that-
back to some more of the hunting guiding stuff, because
Yeah.
cover a bit of that. But in Australia, one of the things that really changed for us, there were 2 factors that really changed for buffalo, right? And one was killing a buffalo front on. So shooting one directly in the chest. The other was learning how to call them, right? And when we put those two things together, it almost made it too easy. Because killing a big water buffalo broadside, and this is all archery equipment I'm talking about, so it's close range, and the way they often posture when they come in, especially if you've like broken the distance, right? They often never just like come right at you, because I think they know they're a little susceptible, and won't just face you directly. Often what they'll do is like quarter towards you, right? And they'll be coming towards you, but it's like they're it's almost like they know they have a shield, you know, on their shoulder. Or they'll try walk kind of around you doing that like side posture, but whenever they turn, they're closing their shoulder, you know, so there's just no way to get into that kind of thing unless you change from kind of this like defensive, them being concerned about you, to all of a sudden being completely curious, or, you know, where their attention is basically like, what? And then they look at you and they pick their head up and they would just open their whole chest out. But you could call them in, you know, with their cough sounds so effectively. Had I known that over a decade, I mean, it would just
there.
And so many scenarios, because there's lots of them where you or your client, you'd break that like 50-yard distance, right? And then you'd get caught. They'd either catch the movement or something, and you could have these long stare downs, but they'll do that stare down, you know, then they'll run 15 yards and look back and then walk back in, run, you know, but they'll never, you're not taking a 50-yard front on shot.
Are they
on
like
anything.
seeing you at that
Yeah,
time?
they're seeing you, but then
like,
by that point you're hidden, right? The client's tucked, so they're seeing you, but they don't know what you are. So they're kind of curious but defensive at the same time. So you're getting this like cat and mouse. But when you call them with it, and they can snap from like a defensive bull that's not sure what you are to throwing a cough sound, completely changes their demeanor. It's like they completely forget about the possible danger, and now they're like, oh, there's a cough here that I have to defend, or their curiosity. It's like curiosity killed the buffalo.
That's crazy.
It would just totally change it. I mean,
You're
so
only
fun.
throwing
You
that
talk
cough
about
in when they're close. Is that what you're saying? You only like do the cough noise when they're close?
No, it would depend, you know. Usually not. It was kind of fun to still make a stalk completely undetected, you know, catch one broadside and shoot it. But, and then once I got good at it, then it was a variance of, if you got busted, then that window of opportunity opened where you're like, okay, hold your ground, let's see if we can call them in. Or there were scenarios where they'd be way out there, and just for fun, you'd be like, let's just call this sucker over. I mean, they'd come from like a couple hundred yards. You know, they'd come, the cows would come in and the bull would come in, and, you know, and the other thing we would do with that was the visual one, was the handkerchief, right? I'd always used to carry a white handkerchief in my pocket. And what you do is you'd like tuck yourself in, lie in the grass. I'd pick my handkerchief up and I'd flutter it like up above the grass, and then I'd bring it all the way down to where they would see it, and it was real obvious to them. And then when it disappeared into the grass, it's like they couldn't help themselves. They had to come closer to see what it was.
Like, dang it,
know?
we gotta go over
and
there.
because they're like, what is that? You know, it's like fully gets their attention, and then it's gone, and they're like, well, I just saw something.
And a big animal,
you know,
like that, like they're not super scared of like.
Yeah, there's
like
no predator for them,
like
so they're not. I mean, obviously they're defensive, but not. Yeah, they're not. You know, they're not flighty in that
just
sense.
curious
and that curiosity from calling them. I'd love you to experience that, because to call one in and then shoot a buffalo point blank with a bow is freaking exhilarating.
That reminds, like on my moose hunt a couple years ago, same thing. Like big animal, like they were. And they don't get called at, they don't get hunted as much, and they were a lot more, like I called in 2 different bulls, turning my bow sideways and going, oh. Like it was just enough movement and enough noise where they were like, okay. And it was awesome practice for me, because I didn't have that experience. Well, I did in other places. Like I can't help myself whenever I see a moose anywhere when I'm hunting. I'm
You've messed with moose here locally, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, dude. Yeah, but then when they really start coming in, it's like, yeah, exactly.
I just have a bow, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
behind a tree one time in the middle of an elk hunt, just same thing. You know, you're like walking along, bull walks out in the meadow, started at him, and he was freaking pissed. He came over, and I ruined my freaking elk hunt. I spent an hour I spent an hour
Hiding?
with this bull on the opposite side of a pine tree where I'm thinking like, what an idiot. You
Yeah,
know?
I know.
I'm like,
Literally,
okay,
as soon
please
as
go
they
away
commit,
now.
yeah, as soon as they commit, you're like, yeah, that was a mistake. I called one
exactly
into
what I
the
thought.
razor, and my wife jumped back in the razor. She was so mad. She was like, why did you? Because he came from like 500 yards. You know, I was just like, whoa, doing the gaggle. Yeah, he came running in. It was pretty cool. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the fishing stuff. So Hunter and his dad, huge fishermen. His dad caught the world record. I don't care what anybody says about unofficial. Caught the world record lake trout 2 years ago.
That was, I guess 3, dude.
3 years
yeah,
ago now?
2023.
Okay, yeah. And it was 70.
Yeah, 73. I can't remember the point.
Yeah.
73 pounds.
Yeah, 73 pounds, which
Yeah.
is
And
insane.
honestly, man, we think it's bigger. We could how we had to weigh it. I couldn't. It was coming out. It was so big. It was coming out of the net. So I had to like cradle the thing almost. So I feel like I was taking weight off of it.
That's
really
weightlifting
believe-
right there, dude. That's the real. That's how you build them muscles.
Yeah.
Lifting
That
73
fish
pound
is
lake
so
trout.
epic. Where can people see a photo of that thing?
Dude, I've got it on my Instagram. My dad's Scott Enloe. You can see it on his Facebook. And honestly, if you Google like lake trout anymore,
Yeah.
that's like what pops up.
Yeah, exactly.
And it looks fake and it looks goofy, but
Tell us about,
insane.
so we have a local lake here. It's one of a handful of lakes in the whole United States that you can catch 50 plus pound lake trout.
It's the best. It's the best lake trout fishery in the lower 48.
Okay. So tell us
in my
about that
opinion.
experience. Obviously, you guys have caught a lot of big. I mean, that's not, I mean, you guys have
Let's-
put some serious fish in the boat.
Even before that, let's back up to like you getting here and kind of discovering.
Yeah.
Like, did you fish for lake trout before you came
No.
here?
No,
Okay,
dude.
So you come here
Yeah.
and
So I moved here to be a fly fishing guide, and being on the U.S. youth team fly fishing, I had all these credentials where I could kind of go anywhere I wanted to.
Yeah.
And fly fish and had guiding opportunities anywhere. But I love Gunnison, dude. We've been coming out here since I was a kid, and I just knew this is where I wanted to move. So I moved out here to fly fish. Never even thought about lake trout. Never even knew they were here. And started seeing pictures and talking to guys of them catching these big lake trout. And just me and my dad were just like, we got to figure that out. And obviously not fly fishing for them. But there again, man, same deal with coyotes, dude. I think I've fished Blue Mesa for 5 years, and that's talking like a lot. Summer, spring, through the ice. I think I fished it for 5 years without catching one over like 10 pounds. And there again, you were talking to guys who were like, they were going out and catching multiple 20-pound fish in a day, and it's like, we're doing something obviously wrong, you know. And started putting the puzzle pieces together. And there again, it's just like being dedicated to something. Started putting the puzzle pieces together and started catching them. And I'll never forget, man, my dad was actually working down in Florida through the ice season, and I was crushing big fish through the ice, and it was like killing them. Because my dad's honestly more of a lake trout nut than I am, and it was killing them. And all I wanted him to do was like catch them, you know. And he was coming out here the day the boat ramp opened, which was May 5th, because that was the day we caught it. And literally, dude, I'm just like, I crushed big fish all winter, and I was just wanting him to catch big fish, but I'm gonna fish like when we go out. I literally, dude, I make like 2 casts, like first 2 casts of the day. Second cast caught like a 34-pounder, just giant. And I'm like stoked, but I'm also like, damn, wish my dad
I wish
caught
he'd have got
you know?
that, yeah.
And it's not long after that fish. We released it, got some pictures, you know. And I remember this was before live scope. We didn't have live scope, which if you don't know about lake trout fishing or fishing in general anymore, live scope's like taking over, which is super fun. But this was before live scope. So we're fishing with like traditional like 2D sonar. And these 3 big fish come in on my dad, dude. He's working them. And back then we were fishing a lot bigger stuff than a lot of guys did, and because we just didn't know what they ate, you know. I mean, we knew what they ate in the lake because they're mostly eating kokanee salmon and rainbow trout, but we were like, well, we got the big stuff then. And anymore, I catch them on pretty small stuff, but secret's out, I guess. But no, like jigging big old tube around, 3 giant fish come in on them, and usually in those packs, so like lake trout hunting packs, like you get a big pack on you, dude, like you're probably gonna get bit. And that some of those packs, man, can be 2 fish. They love to hunt in pairs, but I've seen packs up to 25 of them.
crazy.
And no joke,
like
all of them are
freaking
trying
lake
to eat.
orcas.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Like, and I'll get in more of the lake trout, but this fish in general. But 3 fish come in, we're working those fish. They're diving on his jig. and like doing it, like one's gonna eat it, and then all of a sudden, dude, there's this mark that shows up like above these 3 marks, and it's the size. If you put those 3 marks together, it would be the size of this mark that come in, you know what I mean? And I thought it was another pack of them, and they were just super balled up. So on that 2D sonar, if something's balled up, it's just going to be one solid mark, you know? And it sits over the jig, but when that fish comes in, all 3 of those fish just split. And we're like kind of pissed, because I'm like, those were going to do it, you know? And they were 30-pound fish, like they were giants. Because we got so good at that 2D, we used it forever. Of like, I see that mark, I'm like, that's like a 25-pounder, 25 to 30
that's
pounds.
crazy.
But with the live scope, I can 100% tell you within about a half a pound what that fish weighs. And so, big fish, that giant mark comes in. Dad like pops a jig one time, just goes straight vertical, straight to the bottom, and just hooks it. And my dad's like, I'm sure he's gonna listen to this. He's gonna laugh at me. But every Laker he hooks is 50 pounds. Everyone, dude. It's a 50-pounder. As soon as he says hook, 50 pounds. I'm like, okay, you know. But literally, dude. So he hooks this fish, and it comes up, and I'm like, because I'm just like, this was kind of. We hadn't really caught that many big ones. But I had kind of figured it out a little bit that winter before, and was getting it dialed in a little. And so we're like. I'm immediately like, when someone hooks out, I'm just grabbing the net, even though normally it's 15 minutes later you land it. And so I grab the net. While I'm grabbing the net, Dad sees it come up off the front. He was fishing off the front. He's like, Hunter, it's a 50-pounder. And I'm just like, yeah, dude. Like, I've heard this every time you hook one, you know? And so we fought it forever. And Dad's like, whole time, he's like, I'm not joking this time. It's 50 pounds. It's 50 pounds. I'm like, okay. Okay.
And the previous record in this lake was what?
50. I think it's 50 pounds and like 4 ounces.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And so we fought it. Didn't fight it long, dude. And the real big ones, like fish over 30 pounds out of blue is like, you just get those 18 to 25 pounders. You get like big long runs, like super, like taking, like you look at your reel, like, oh my God, I'm gonna have enough line. When you get over that, you get a lot of just laying there. You get usually one big run, and then it's just like heavy weight.
Dead weight.
And sometimes, man, those big fish, I don't know what it is. The ones I've found the ones I've caught over 40 pounds, they don't feel heavy, and it confuses you. When the 40 pounders I've caught, like, or 40 pound plus fish I've caught, they all fool me. Like, I'll fight it forever, and it comes up, I'm like, oh my God, like I had no clue it was that big, you know? And
why do you think that is? Are they swimming up at you?
No, they're on bottom, and
it is odd. I caught like a 25-pounder the other day, and I was convinced it was a 50-pounder.
But those feel heavier than the really big ones, dude. Those feel heavier.
I was convinced, I was so convinced. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, dude, and so we fought that fish for probably like 10 minutes, and it comes up, and I'm just like, oh my God, like it's legit, and I'm losing it, dude. I'm losing it.
Yeah,
and I'm with the net like this, and I always remember, dude, this fish comes up by the boat, and he's hooked good. I can just see that tube just choked, and it comes up by the boat, man, and I'm just like, it's moving quick though, and it doesn't have its head up, and it's like I could have scooped, but you know, it's like
didn't want to knock it off.
Dude, and I remember in the video, because I watched that video quite a bit, I'm always like, I'm not gonna do it. And my dad, dude, because we're so redneck, he's funny. He's like, I'm coming around. You know, he's freaking out.
The video is awesome, because you were saying earlier that your friend said you lost your North Carolina accent. Dude, it comes out full force in that video. It's like you need bylines in that video to understand what's going on.
I tell my clients, man, I'm like, y'all think I'm redneck right now? Because they always ask me, you know, where I'm from. I'm like, y'all think I'm redneck right now? I'm like, we catch a big fish up here, like the real redneck comes out, you know. But no, that comes up, dude, like almost scooped at it, but it was like not the time to net it, and it like goes up under the boat and like almost goes to the motor, and it's getting weird, and then finally it just comes up and kind of gives up and scoop them. And my dad helped me grab the net. It's got it's a huge net we're using, and it just fills it up, dude. And like it gets in the boat, and I'm just like in shock. I'm just like, what is that thing?
Yeah, that's what you kept saying.
What the hell is that thing, dude? I'm just like, what is this?
And your dad's like, that's state record. Yeah. That's state record.
That's 50 pounder. I told you. But yeah, dude. Then we literally, we did everything quick, and some of those big ones, man, we want to weigh. We'll just flip the live well on real quick, and we'll just put its face in the water. It keeps them alive great. And honestly, most of the time now, I just keep them in the water in the net. But the net we were using just didn't have a deep enough. And two, it was like, what are we going to do now? Because we know this is the record. And it's like, but it never crossed our brain to keep it. Ever.
I know. And that's what, like, kudos to you guys. I mean, that is like the epitome of like sportsmanship and sportsman.
I think so much credit for that. For people that don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, you can't get an official state record unless you take the fish,
kill it,
get it officially weighed, and the fish dies.
Yep.
You know, so
And how old are we thinking this fish is?
Man, we don't know, dude. Yeah.
I mean, like,
I gotta, yeah.
I mean, I've heard
I personally think this is a young male, a sterile young male. So the world record that was ever, I think, netted up in Canada was over 100 pounds, and they aged that fish at only 30 years old. But it was a sterile male. So when these males can't spawn, they just pack on the weight.
gotcha.
I'm thinking, dude, because you look at this fish, man, its head doesn't match. It's clean finned. Like last year through the ice, man, I caught, and I'm kind of humble and not too long, but I'm pretty sure it's the biggest fish that's ever been caught through the ice on Blue Mesa, and it was pushing 50 pounds, 48 to 50 pounds.
Is that the one that just had that monster Goliath
You
head?
Yeah.
It looked ancient.
You compare that fish to the one my dad caught, and they're a completely different fish.
Yeah,
Like that one I
totally.
caught was a 40 or 50-year-old fish, because you can about average a pound per year for these fish is a good way to just get close. And so you're looking at my fish was probably 40 years old that I caught through the ice, but man, you compare it to my dad's, and man, it's just so clean finned.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's so big in the belly that it just kind of dwarfed everything, and
it
looks,
kind of
but
distorts
it's got
the
just
head.
a little head, and it's just little.
Because that's what,
clean
like, I've
fins.
seen pictures of 25, 30 pounders that have just monster heads on them, like
Yeah, I've
big
seen,
old
you
gills
get
and
this
stuff.
whale tail, and then you get this Goliath head.
Yeah.
But you've got a pretty sleek body, and then you get those ones that just start to grow this
And that's
way.
what his
You know?
dad's looks like. It literally is just like I don't even know how
And
to
it
describe
don't look
that thing.
long. I mean, it does look long in the picture, but it's still the longest one we've caught, and I've ever heard of coming out of Blue Mesa.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 47 inches.
Yeah.
The longest I've ever caught. So I've never posted this fish or talked about this fish, but last summer I caught one that was probably 52 to 54, and it was only 44 inches. But it was 44 by 34 inch girth, which is actually
crazy?
But it's actually the state record official measurements was like spot on to what I had. But the one I caught last summer, but I never shared that or anything. For one reason, I was FaceTiming my dad when I hooked it, because I saw it on the live scope and I knew what it was.
And you're like, check this out, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm about to
and literally, I
freaking
didn't
smack
even get any
this thing.
pictures. He got screenshots of me holding it up while he was FaceTiming. I mean, that's the only pictures I got, and I just dumped it back in.
And yeah. And
But we ended up weighing that fish, and like I said, we were weighing it in the net, and the fish is wanting to slide out the net, and we're trying to get it back in the water. I mean, that's the main goal, is trying to get it back. But we wanted to document everything too. And the one regret I had, man, I was so nervous and just like jittery and shaking. It was like just like I'd shot a big bull, you know.
Yeah.
And the one regret I had was I like double tapped the release video, and I like got him putting it in the water and holding it in the water, but I thought I was filming, but I'd hit the record button again, so I didn't get it swimming off. So there's all these rumors that fish died and all this, and that it didn't swim off good. But dude, when it took off, it about pulled my dad in. I mean, when it kicked off,
Well, and
it
that's
was just
the
like,
thing. A lot of people don't understand. Like the serious lake trout guys. I mean, you guys care a ton about these fish.
yeah.
Like you can tell the serious guys from the unserious guys by the way they treat that fish when
Yep.
it comes in the boat or on the ice. Like it is. I mean, like you said, main priority is getting that thing in the water. You know.
I think you asked me earlier about some controversy stuff, and I think that's where I get passionate with those fish, man, because I get so much flack because I like blur the background and stuff, and don't want people knowing where I'm catching them. And I'm not very secretive on like what I'm using and whatever. But like, I don't want you to know where I'm at, because I got guys literally waiting for me.
Yeah, following you
literally
out there.
waiting for me on their snowmobiles or on their boats. When I take off, they're right behind me. Whether they fish there or not, they drive right by me on their phone, drop a pin, and then a week straight after that, they're sitting right there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't have that happen and trying to put clients on it. So I am secretive about where I'm catching them. But, you know, my deal with being secretive is like, you can't have the wrong type of, I mean, when you get in, they're hard to catch, but when you figure it out a little bit, they're not that hard. And you get the wrong people catching these fish, it's not going to be good, because there's not a bunch of
destroy the fishery.
yeah, it's not. And honestly, man, and the reason I say that is I don't care who catches them, and I don't even care if you want to fish right here beside me, but just handle that fish well. And I see so many pictures of like guys I've never seen catching big fish, and now they're catching them. And every picture, and I'm not naming names or anything, but it's like every picture, their hands ran up in their gills, or there's blood pouring out of it, and you can tell. And it's like, guys don't realize, man, like if it's bleeding out of its gills, they don't just stop.
Yeah.
Guys are like, yeah, they swim off.
Yeah.
But they don't have a doctor down there patching their gill up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they
Yeah.
just die.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's how it is. Like, they don't get that blood stopped. Like, if you hit that gill, like, it's over.
Special
like,
resource for sure. I remember
And like you
when
said,
I
it's a 40 or 50-year-old
yeah,
fish.
yeah,
I mean,
that's
that's
what I mean.
like
It's a
not-
special,
and it's hard.
It's a
And
very
too-
unique species in the sand, and just world class. It's
Yeah.
kind of like it's like Gunnison with the mule deer and that. I remember when CPW were killing them, and I was like, this makes no
Dude, yeah.
sense. It was like it makes literally no sense.
Yeah.
You know, there's only one of a handful of places in the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have a fishery that supports this type of fish. Even as an outsider, I was like,
Yep.
and a non-fisherman that's serious in that regard, I was just immediately like,
are you
this
doing?
this makes zero sense.
Yeah,
Like,
like-
why on earth would we do that? You know?
And so from an
But-
old fishing guy that I knew here, he knew the guy that ran that gill netting program.
Yeah.
And there was rumors, and the guy I knew, which you guys know too, but he said that guy, they gill netted a 73 pounder, and that was like the early 2000s. That was the
Yeah.
biggest one they gill netted.
100-pounder in that lake.
100%, dude.
Yeah, I think so too.
If they're that big in there, there's a 100-pounder in there. I feel like I've seen them, dude, with a live scope now. I spent a lot of last summer and last spring chasing fish like that. Because you can tell the difference on the live scope. It's like you're sitting there catching 20 pounders, and then one rolls through that's 4 times as big, and you're like, what was that thing? And I spent a lot of my summer, I spent 2 weeks on the same flat last year fishing for one fish that lived on it. And it was the only fish living there, and I never got him to eat, but it was, I don't know, it was very close to where we caught that 73 pounder, and I don't know if it's her. But I spent 2 weeks straight, every day for 12 hours straight sitting on that same flat. And she'd come by and look at my jig 3 or 4 times a day and never ate it. But I spent a lot of my last summer fishing for that fish, but I think it was a 60 to 80 pound fish.
And I want to touch on this again. Andy and I talked about this in a different podcast about what makes people better hunters and better fishermen. Persistence is what we said. And
Yep.
like, you're a shining example of that. Like, I mean, for fish, for coyotes, like, you come here from a foreign place and it didn't just happen. Like, you're a fishy guy, you're a great hunter, but it took a lot of work.
Dude, yeah.
It took
Yeah,
a lot of
spent
work and a lot
years.
of figuring that out, you know, and like basically doing it. Yeah, you've got some resources and stuff, but basically doing it all on your own and
Yep.
figuring this out.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think that's super impressive. So if you're wondering why Hunter's better than you at all this stuff, it's because he spent years crafting this. So,
And man, I'm the type of guy, I hate help too.
Yeah.
Like, I won't reach out and be like, hey, can I grab a pin here or something? Or what should I use? Like, I love figuring stuff out on my own. Even if that takes 4 or 5 years.
like you said, the
that's-
puzzle pieces is a fun part of
That's
that.
the funnest
like,
part,
figuring
man.
it all out.
Yeah.
So,
But going back to the lake trout too, man, like, it would blow people's minds, I think, and not toot my own horn, but some of the days you can have out there
yeah.
on that lake.
Yeah.
Like, and it's stuff I don't post about, stuff I don't talk about, and not, it's tough for me being a guide because every time I post a big fish, I book a trip or two.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to hide them. I don't want the wrong people catching them.
Yeah.
And I think, and especially the ways some guys catch them, you can't help but to hurt that fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some.
Big treble hooks, stuff like that. And I'm not some like purist on that stuff, but man, it's like Andy was saying, man, it's such a special place to have
Oh,
and
yeah.
special fish. Like I said, dude, it's the best in the
Take
lower
care of
You
the
do
resources you
notice
have.
now that there is enough of a community. It's certainly that I know that value.
Absolutely.
I mean, not the secrecy, but obviously a portion of respecting the fish, holding other fishermen kind of accountable to that same thing, which fortunately we have. Obviously, not everyone's on the same plane there, of course, but still, I mean, yeah, what a cool thing. I mean, every time I see one of those big fish, I'm in awe. I mean, they're just
I know.
special.
Just
I mean, they're
I'm the same way.
dinosaur.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Total,
and
I mean,
like I tell my clients, like, you can see all the pictures you want, but until you're holding one, it's like a
I
whole
know.
different thing, dude. Like, you see
that
it gets in the
big
boat, and you're just
tail
like,
and-
what in the, like,
Yeah,
what?
freshwater,
Yeah,
freaking
is that-
shark
I mean,
coming into
yeah,
the boat.
dude.
But like you said, okay, I want to go back to that. So you're saying they're hunting in packs, and that's I said lake orcas. Like, I mean, that's pretty crazy. So you think they're like communicating, or like they're waiting for this one to flush a bait
Yeah.
fish, or
Yep.
like what are they?
Yeah, dude, and I've watched big single fish following around small lakers a lot. And I think, because those small lakers, man, they don't, normally if you're on a big fish spot, you're not catching small fish.
Yeah.
Because big lake trout will eat them.
Yeah.
But I think, dude, they use those small fish to flush stuff off bottom, and I've watched them do it, dude, and no joke. And you want to catch some big lake trout, one of my biggest things, and I tell my clients this, sorry to whoever does this too, but it's one of my tricks, man. Get that small fish to eat and just don't set the hook. Just keep shaking them off. I do this constantly. I do it with big fish too, in those
That's
big
interesting.
packs. The fish I've caught over 40 pounds, I've usually let 6 or 8 big fish spit it out before I catch the big one of the pack. And I'm talking letting 20 and 30 pounders spit it out. And like, because you can just see it so, and people don't understand, but I can see it so well in the live scope, because you're not using live scope, you can see it all. And you know, like, oh, there's 10 fish on my jig, but there's one hanging out above that's like double the size. I want him.
Yeah,
I've caught enough of those 20 and 30 pounders. I'm like, I want that 40, dude.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting swing, just because the change in technology kind of allows you to kind of know, like, but no different than glassing up a herd of elk and seeing the satellite bull, the other bull, and the herd bull. You know, and you're like, okay, well, you know.
A lot of my big fish I catch, man, especially things like through the ice, is like, I'll sit there and let a 18-incher eat it 40 times, no joke. Like, he'll just sit down there and I'll just pop him off, or he'll carry it all the way up to the hole sometimes, and I like shake him off at the hole, and then he chases it all the way back down and grabs it, and then until a big fish comes in and he sees that small one interacting with it, and that big one, man, I'm telling you, dude, gives him confidence to be like, he's eating it, I'm gonna go eat it.
Yeah,
I've had fish literally, man, like the small one comes in and grabs it and literally carries it up through the pack and spits it out, and my jig never hits the bottom again. After I've worked them forever and can't get them to eat, but the big fish grabs it because that small one picked it up and ate it. It's a competition thing.
That's really interesting.
That is interesting.
Guys think I'm crazy, but I tell my clients that, and they're like, I can't set the hook. Like,
shake off the 25 pounders.
With a client, but like, shoot, man, I'm like, I can tell it's like a 20-incher. I'm like, just keep that thing around. You'll watch this rod tip, just, and you see the fish eating it on the screen. And then here comes the big one, man. And I'm like, all right, get ready. When he spits it out, he's going to eat it. And the big one just comes down and smokes it, you know.
That's awesome. Okay, now this is an odd question. So where does lake trout rate in your, like you said, mule deer first, turkey, elk? Is it in that top 3? Does it bump any of those top 3 out?
No, man.
Okay.
No.
All right. So yeah, I mean,
I wish it did.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you're a super fishy guy, but yeah, I
love my fishing, man. But it's like I love to hunt.
Yeah,
that's it.
know.
But it's the cool part about those, man, because it's a lot like hunting, dude.
Yeah.
You're rolling around spots like, oh, they're not here.
Yeah.
Roll here and they're here, and then it's like you got to figure out what they want and how they want it jigged that day, and it's like what color they want that day, and it's like a whole deal.
Yeah, it's like the planning and preparation that goes into a whitetail hunt. It's like the mind game that makes it fun. You know what I mean? Like we've talked about that with whitetail, where it's like it's just such like you lay awake at night being like, okay, should I be in this position for this, or should I? So it's just that's
the strategy in hunting is fun. And in fishing, it's applicable to all of them, and it's definitely it's what.
Well, and you just kind of got into whitetails. Right?
Yeah, very recently. In the last 5 years or 4 years or something like that.
That's one dude, like you were saying, laying awake, wondering about. I can go to sleep hunting elk and mule deer. Not mule deer, dude. I'll lay awake in my tent and be on Onyx until my eyes are bleeding. Like, okay, I got to go to bed, you know. But with whitetail, man, because it's that there again, like where you're sitting in the stand, and we always did hanging hunts, like walking in, hanging that morning and stuff. And it's like, all right, I got that's a.
But it's so fun. I like it's so fun because I'm new to it. Like it's just a different. Like yes, the mule deer definitely. Like my wife knows when I'll be like sitting there in bed with like a blank stare on my face. She's like, "You're thinking about deer, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about deer."
You and I have gotten in deep on the whitetail over the last
and it's
flying for 6 years.
It's
now that
cool.
we're running trail cameras it's hectic now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Just
I always loved it, man. I hadn't been down to hunt them in several years just because I'm guiding so much, but I love it.
Yeah,
especially dude, out here you're walking 100 miles every season, whatever, and then you can just go like.
That's what I've loved of that. You go from like full on elk backcountry hunting, which is just labor intensive. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
To like chilling out in a tree, which wrecks your back.
Yeah. But you think you're chilling out, but then like you said, you're just like your mind's just rolling because it's like I'm having a deer hitting 2 places, and every time that I'm making a sit, he's hitting the other place, and it's like, I mean, it drives you nuts.
Especially because you're in a lot of times such a close proximity to him.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like if I just went 70 yards there, he'd have walked right by, you know.
You also,
know they're
the other thing with whitetail, obviously calling them in the rut's a factor, but there's a lot of it that's kind of out of your control. That's what makes it more stressful. Like elk, you can make a play at, right? You can hunt them bedded. You can hunt them when they're on their feet. You know what I mean? Like whitetail, it's like they have to bring
commit.
50% of the deck,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
for it to happen.
Yeah, and you're sitting there eating
You
little
know.
Debbie's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Trying to open them all quiet.
And I haven't been aggressive about calling whitetail.
that's what I was
something
gonna
I've
ask.
not been aggressive about. I've talked to you in the past about you've called a lot of
Oh
whitetail.
yeah, dude. That's yeah.
So
No,
what
that's
are you
all
doing primarily for that? I mean, of course, that varies so broadly from one state to the next, but primarily rattling or?
Yeah, mostly rattling, man. I got to where the last few years I hunted them, man, I'd hardly set up a tree stand. I loved, man, I would find those big bucks that had pushed does out to get away from the herd and like go lock down a doe out in the middle of a CRP field where there's not woods around for 3 miles. And I got really into hunting stuff like I did out here, dude, because I got out here, man, because I hunted out of a tree stand growing up. That's all we did. And I got out here and was able to spot and stalk and move, and I loved that aspect of hunting, man. And I started using it for my whitetail in Kansas and Nebraska. And that's my biggest bucks I've killed was doing that. But calling, man, too, doing like just, I would, a lot of times, man, roll down the road and spot them, spot and scope. But a lot of times in the thick stuff, you're looking for just an antler tip. It was very similar to stuff out here. And then plan your stalk, dude. Let that wind get up. It's very similar to the mule deer out here. It's like you let the wind get up so you can creep through there. And I was using, I never used a decoy on my bow. I never got to that. I wanted to. I just kind of got to where I wasn't hunting them as much. But getting in super tight, man, and just making like little grunts and like snort wheezing at them. I know we're running time, but
No, you're good.
My uncle watched me kill a deer out in the middle of this cornfield, dude. It's the biggest 8-pointer I've ever killed. Oh, it's funny because when I talk about whitetail, I go to 8-pointer.
Yeah.
When I talk about mule deer, I'm like, that's the biggest 4x4.
Exactly, yeah, I know.
But being from both places, I like,
Yeah,
I go
we
back
do
to,
that too, yeah.
But we were, I was walking out from my stand that day, and I literally see my uncle had drove out there, and he was driving like this little black Mazda car, and I see him just ripping out the road, dust coming out, and I'm just like trucking out of there. And I had like a bad morning, like rattled deer in, missed him, something, I can't remember exactly, but I'm walking out, I'm just like in corn stubble this big, and in the middle of this field, there's like this big ditch, and it's just thick, growed up, maybe 10 yards wide. And I'm just trucking across this field, dude, and I mean, wide open. My uncle's rolling down the road, probably 300 yards from me, or probably more than that, 400 yards or something. And I'm ready to go grab some lunch, and I'm trucking out through this field, and I walk over this ditch, and I look in the ditch, and there's a doe laying there. And I'm like, I'm like 70 yards from her. And you know how whitetail are. I mean, they don't just stand there and watch you walk by. Like, they get out of there. And I'm like, something's weird. And she's just laying there, and she just watches me walk by. And I almost like, I had my doe tag. I was like, I'm going to try to just slip up and bust her right here, It was getting towards the end of the trip, and I was wanting some meat. And, but it hit me. I was like, man, she's probably locked down. But it was so thick. That's all I could see was just her body, and I could see her head just looking at me walking, And I literally creep down, dude, and have my stand and stuff on my back. I get all that off of me, and I'm just like kneeled down, and she's watching me do all this, and I'm like, something's weird right here. Like, she's locked down. And I just turn my head like this and just grunt real soft, and dude, just this giant 8 stands up right behind her, just like that. And he tries to get her up like that, but dude, I'm just like, I'm knelt down in corn stubble this tall.
Yeah.
He's looking right at me. And I literally I'm no joke, man, I grabbed my rattling horns and put them on my head like I was a deer sitting there in this field, just like this. And literally kind of posture like this. And dude, it was the most vocalization I've ever had from a whitetail. It was like hunting an elk, dude. He was snorting, wheezing, and grunting like you've never heard. Just like crazy, dude. Like every 10 seconds. And I just hit him right back. And it wasn't long, dude. He was just all postured up, standing by her. And all of a sudden, dude, he just was like broke. And you could hear him. That ditch was real muddy, dude. And I always remember him you could hear the mud coming, just like that, because he kind of like went behind a big old like bush or something, And I'm just like in this corn stubble this high. I'm like, dude, is this fucking working right now, And my uncle's watching the whole thing out of the spot.
Yeah, That's cool.
And literally just walks out from behind that bush all bristled up, just ready to fight, dude. And I shot him at like 18 yards. He like runs like 20 yards in the middle of the field and just dies.
That
But dude, I
is
literally,
so
but literally,
awesome.
man, I'll take off. I'm just jacked, dude. I just like take off running to my uncle, drop my bow, and I'm just like sprinting, just like 400 yards. Dude. I literally get back to the car, start puking everywhere, dude.
Just
the nerves,
adrenaline, yeah.
nerves, and me just running out of nowhere 400 yards. Like I hadn't ran in forever, you know. And I just get back to the truck and I'm just like, blah, blah, just violently puking everywhere. My uncle's just like, what is going on, you know?
That is
But my uncle's
awesome.
jacked. We're like hugging and stuff. He's like, that was the sickest thing I've ever watched.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, nobody would have believed you if your uncle wasn't there, huh?
No, dude. But no, man, sitting on stand, like, dude, I would go, normally when we went down there, I mean, it was nothing for me to rattle in 10 to 20 deer. Most of the time smaller deer, but most of the time that's how I killed them on stand was rattling. But I did it a lot, dude.
See,
I'm
I
gonna
called
be
a
more
lot,
aggressive
man.
with that this year.
But we didn't know. So, like you said, we're new to whitetail hunting, right? And we went on this super cool hunt a couple of years ago, and it's a rut hunt, and we had 3 days to do it. And I was grunting, and I saw a buck coming in. I grunted at him. He just like looked over and then kind of continued on. Well, he circled the wind. I lost it. I totally lost visibility, like way out in front of me. Wind's blowing this way. 10 minutes later, I hear a snort wheeze, which I didn't even know what that was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I hear it 50 yards into the timber where I can't see, and I didn't know what to do. Like I literally just sat there because I was like, is that another guy? Is that like, I didn't know what to do. So in that situation, and it was so weird because it was like, it was a farting noise at the end. Like it was like this loud snort wheeze with a fart at the end. And I was like, did some guy just take a shit in the woods over there? Like I didn't know what was going on. So I just sat there, and buck never came in, never committed, and I thought it was a human for a long time. And then in the last year, I've been like, that was that buck circling downwind of me. And what, like in that situation, you just snort wheeze at that buck and try to get him to expose himself?
Yeah, dude. When I got him to snort wheeze at me, I always just like almost like bugling back to an elk.
Yeah.
Like just I almost like cutting him off too. Like
Yeah.
hit him right back. When that buck was doing that to me in that ditch, and I've had several other bucks do that out in the middle of these fields. And it's such a fun way to hunt them too, man, because you're just out in the middle of nowhere and there's 2 deer out there. It's a giant buck with a doe. And it's like, it reminds me so much of high country mule deer. And, but yeah, dude, I just, man, cut them off and do it to them a lot. I mean, and honestly, man, when I'm sitting on stand, and it was all public land we were hunting too, and I don't know, I rattle every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I just did it a lot, man. I'm like,
I mean, they hear it all the time, so that's another thing. Like, you don't want to overcall sometimes, but elk make elk noises, whitetail make whitetail noises, turkey makes turkey noises, coyotes make coyote noises. So you're not really gonna freak them out by making those noises.
No, you worry though. It's kind of like you were talking about a little bit on the calling stuff before. It's like a lot of mistakes can be made calling, right? So there's kind of this. I've always been kind of the opinion of like I almost never kill elk calling elk, almost never.
Yeah.
And most of my elk are not calling. There's a couple of factors to that. One is I'm not the greatest caller.
Second, he can't
And
hear.
the other is I just feel more confident. That is
They're
a factor.
bugling at him at 150 yards and he can't hear him.
Just can't hear him. But I take the approach of less is more, right?
Yeah.
Because of those factors, right? I am adapting to that because it's like I wouldn't be calling a whole lot if I can't hear them responding and vice versa. So I take the approach of like, well, let me play on my terms. But I have done that, like you talking like if I whitetail rattle, I might rattle once every 4 hours.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like once in a set.
Yeah.
Not, enough to like engage something that.
And they can come in 10, 15 minutes after you rattle too.
Or just a cruising buck.
Or
Just
you
totally
can't
out
get
of
the horns
earshot.
hung up.
Yeah.
You know, like God, there's so many where it's like and another thing too, I don't know if y'all are doing it, but like, dude, rattle hard. I'd come home, and I ain't joking, dude. Like I've got
just beat out.
dude, just chunks missing out of my hand. Like when you rattle, dude, like these deer are
Get after it,
they're
yeah.
fighting,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh,
They're
they
not
are
I see all these
aggressive.
guys on TV, and they're just like got these bags with I'm like, dude, that's like 2 little spikes, just like
just
seeing
toying.
who can get the milk first. You
Yeah.
know, like go at it, dude.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, if you'd hear me, you'd be like, that's 2 bucks fighting over there.
Yeah.
And I'd go so far as putting like I don't remember how I made it, but just putting something that I could rustle leaves with out of the tree too.
Yeah.
And just adding realism like that. But I think what you were go into is like situational stuff too, man, and where less is more. And I find that I don't want people to think I'm out there just screaming, no matter if I'm hunting elk or I'm just calling all the time. I'm not, dude. You've got to like, less is more 90% of the time, but you got to put yourself in the situation where that works. And you know what I mean?
But then you learn what works and what doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So like, you know, I'm no big bull killer by any means, but I've killed several big herd bulls calling, man. And it's the same thing. And I've called them in for clients, man. It's like, I've got a method to where it works and you can call those bulls in, but you've got to put yourself in the right situation.
Yeah.
Sneaking in on them bedded midday, let that big bull push his cows and go to bed. And then I'm taking the whole morning and hopefully getting on an elk trail, and I'm slipping in to where a lot of times all of a sudden I look around and his cows are everywhere around me. And then I'm bugling. A lot of times, I mean, the last 4 bulls I've killed, the last 4 years in a row, I did 1 bugle and they're dead. And that's putting yourself in that, and that's where less is more, but it's putting yourself in that right situation.
You're getting in their bedroom threatening to take
Yep.
their woman,
Yep.
which is like...
And I know that's a huge thing, but I think one thing guys mess up is they spend too much time thinking about trying to talk to that bull.
Yeah.
And when I roll in and I'm doing that and I'm in there, I'm talking to his cows.
Yeah.
And you talk to his cows, he's coming, dude. I mean, it works. And it makes more sense, man. If you got the wind right, you've got the thermals rolling up the mountain, and you're slipping down on an elk trail, it makes more sense. There's 20 cows laying here and 1 bull. That bull coming down, he's smelling those cows.
Yeah.
So he's not going to bugle at that bull. He's going to bugle at what he smells, and that's cows. So a lot of times I just roll, and all of a sudden I look around and there's cows bedded everywhere. If you're moving slow enough and got the right situation, you can
get
do
in.
it.
And it is cool to like
right
be
in
inside of
But
a
you're not
herd like
making
that.
any noise prior to that.
No, I'll
you're
locate
not
them.
cow
Yeah.
calling your way in.
Yep. Or just shadow him and just like if he's bugling and pushing his cows, because you guys know you call too much, he's grabbing his cow. He don't want to fight.
Yeah.
And it's like I just shadow him. I may cow call if I need to like hear him one last time, but then it's like you get to the point where he's bugling all morning, and all of a sudden it's just quiet. And it's like they're probably right here bedded. You look on Onyx, and it's like you're straight down. There's a little bench right there, and you've chased them all morning. It's like, well, they're right there on that bench. And you start creeping down, and I'm telling you, man, you get in that bubble, and you talk to his cows, dude. He's coming.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the bull I killed this year. I mean, the last 2 years, man, I've done that in the wide open. Where these
Kind of bugle are you making? Kind of like a roundup bugle?
Yeah, I'll either like lip ball.
Yeah.
Or I'll just like a real long, just pretty bugle. No chuckles.
Do you ever do like a lazy bugle when you get in close? Like if you catch them in dark timber like that bedded, when you're in the bedroom, do you ever do just kind of like a lazy bugle? You know how when they stand up out of their beds and they do like that? Ooh,
Yeah, or just like a grunt.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that quite a bit, but it seems like, man, I don't know if it matters that much as long as you're not being aggressive to him and
really
chuckling.
I mean, the key point you're making is the sound is not as critical as exactly where and when you're in the position that you make that sound.
Exactly.
You want to like close as much distance as you can without busting them, and sometimes you do have to relocate to make sure that you're like to see how far away you are. But yeah, I mean, and then there's sometimes like we talked about, one of the most important things is learning when to stop, because I have made an absolute racket hunting elk. Like, I mean, kicking trees, rolling rocks, screaming, cow calling, doing whatever, having an elk come in, and then you stop. And then they're like, they're curious to where all that noise was coming from.
That's
so
where my success has come in, is curiosity.
Yeah.
I've called bulls in with curiosity. You know, these weird noises where it's almost like the other end of the spectrum. One is they're directly threatened and they're coming. The other is they're not threatened and they're curious. It's and so their demeanor is a little different, you know. But it's trickier because any mistake, it's a longer period of time to trick a bull in, you know, because they're fairly defensive still when they're curious. Whereas when one just friggin' comes in,
and he's all googly eyed, and you can kind of get away with some stuff.
Yeah. One thing that's super cool too is, like you said, when you're inside of that herd, they just accept you as part of the herd. Like 100%. I've been cow calling with cows 15 yards away from me that are head down feeding, talking back to me, not even looking at me while that bull's up there. So it's like if you're 100 yards away, they're looking at what that is. When you're inside of that comfort zone where a predator shouldn't be, then you're like, you're in
them.
it.
You're one of them.
I mean, we're
elk hunting is an interesting game
daylight.
because there's just a lot of ways to skin that cat, which makes them so fun. You know, I mean, you could totally spot and stalk them. You could call aggressively to them. You could kill one in his bed.
Yep.
Sneaking up on him. They're a fun animal.
Yeah, I think you've killed a lot more bigger. Both of you guys killed a lot bigger bulls than I
I don't
have.
know
But,
about that.
but I mean, you're probably going to kill more not calling, and like for herd bulls especially.
Yeah.
But it can be done, and I've done it a lot. And I get a lot of my clients show up, and they don't like. I can get the vibes they hate, like how much I call. Not that, like I said, that I'm running around calling a bunch, but I think they've read up like, oh, you can't kill these big herd bulls calling. But like the right situation, and we had this happen this year about 6 times. We never got one shot, but it can happen.
Yeah,
And the guy's doubting me 2 days in, and he's like, we hadn't called in a bull. It's early season. I'm like, dude, we keep running this program, it will happen. And then the flip switch, and we called in like 4 bulls in one day. And it's like, you just got to, put yourself in the right situation. And that goes all the way back to turkey hunting too, man. I'll do some crazy stuff and cutting and getting with it, like, hey, I'm up here, and then when I know he's coming, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. But then he pops up, and he goes behind one tree. I'll give him just like you hear it's like the 3-note yelp. It's like, go, go, go. And it's just a pinpoint to be like, I'm right here still, and I'm just here, and then here he peels in, And I think it's pretty similar with that.
Absolutely.
It's like,
but the only way to learn like when to stop, when to call, what to do is to get out there. It goes back to the go hunt and the persistence thing, where you just gotta spend time doing it. Like when I first started elk hunting, it's like, man, I just thought, bugle in a bull. It's like I hardly touch my bugle tube unless it's to locate for the most part. Like I want to get as tight as possible with the least amount of calling that I possibly can. You know.
Yep.
But yeah, you can get them to commit when you're inside of that room. So.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's what makes
cool.
them fun. Like Andy said, there's just so many ways to do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Andy's more of the spot and stock variety, but it works.
I seem
works.
to get it done.
Yeah.
dude.
Well, and
You kill a lot of big
this is
bulls,
something
man.
I think about
Persistence is what
with
I'm
elk
getting at.
too. Like elk aren't as flighty as mule deer and whitetail are because they're bigger. So I think they're actually more susceptible to spot and stock. They don't come in like whitetail wired up. I think if you go with that approach, which typically I don't, because it's like you got to glass them in the right spot to make that stock. But I think they're more susceptible to that because they're not as scared of the noises that are happening around them.
Yeah. And in the rut, there's so much calling going on.
Yeah.
And I think what guys don't realize is like, guys think I call too much, but I'm like, dude, you've never been in like a rut fest.
Yeah.
And it's like when you get into that rut fest, like you can't call enough, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not calling to kill them. I'm saying, but the amount of
You're not gonna
bugles and
scare 'em
cow
away.
calls you hear, it's just constant for
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
It's just, you never stop hearing bugles. And it's like, sometimes I'm trying to, especially with a big bull, I think that's alone, I'm trying to be that party up here where it's like I'm some small bull pushing around a bunch of cows, and it's a party up here. And the big bull we killed 2 years ago with a client, it was like a right at 350 bull. And dude, I mean, that's how I killed him. And just a puny little bull up here, but I've got 10 cows, and I'm trying to sound like 10 cows. I'm rolling rocks, hitting trees, everything. And here he comes like from a mile away, like, nuh-uh, like I'm Mac Daddy, I'm coming up,
I always tell people, Mike, would you rather like fight some guy to keep your lady, or would you rather why would you want to act like an aggressive bull that he's not going to want to fight you? He's not even going to want to risk his cows.
No.
So it's like you want to sound like a little bitch that's got a pile of cows that he's like, nah, I don't think so. I think I'm going to go ahead and sweep those up as well, Yeah. No, that's awesome. So elk's number 3, and you're just there with me and Andy on the mule deer. Gosh dang it.
I know, man. It's
Yeah,
they're the
that
best,
is
dude.
just a release. It's a special hunt. What's your favorite mule deer hunt you've done high country? And you've primarily, maybe only, killed them with a bow.
Yeah, I've never killed an elk or a mule deer with a rifle. I've always bow hunted them, but for mule deer, I've never hunted in the sage form. I want to so bad, dude. But I've always just hunted high country with a bow. And I truly believe, man, you guys are probably with me, like it's one of the hardest hunts you can do.
Yeah.
And especially for just like mature deer. And I'm no like trophy hunter with deer. I'm a little more picky with deer than I am with elk, but I'm not out there to shoot a 200-inch deer every year. Like a good framed, nice mature deer, I'm going.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, probably my favorite hunt was probably the last deer I killed. I think because I spent so much time, and most of the time, man, I've got a bunch of deer found. I do like 2 or 3 stalks. I'm done second or third day. And I got to hunt a little more on that one, which I liked. I was hunting a really big deer, man, that ended up getting shot at by some early rifle hunters. I lived in this spot, which like should never even be in, and was literally drinking the nastiest water you've ever seen. I had literally just like, for 3 days, I lived off one single pack of peanut butter, like the little Justin's peanut butter. I know, and dude, listen to me. I bring a pile of food because I'm so skinny. I have no reserve. My food bags per day are like 3 pounds. But dude, I'd finally found this big deer again, and I wasn't leaving. And I literally, dude, I took like 2 little nibbles off of peanut butter, and I was drinking water that was green for 4 days, trying to get him to bed in a right spot. And I never got to stalk him, dude. And it drives me. Now I look at pictures of that deer, and it wasn't a giant. It was a 190-inch deer. It was the biggest deer I've hunted, you know.
Yeah.
And just beautiful deer, and it was just a beautiful basin. But man, he would just never bed where I could do it. I could just never. I was just like never felt confident with it. And it was going to be a long stalk, and then that early rifle tag came in, and guys shot from I don't know how far away, like 3 different dudes shot like 20 times at him as he's running, and I never saw him again. And I'm down there just like some frail little just like with peanut butter, just like
sunburn.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, I mean, that spot, and I know guys are always like, oh, 15 miles in there, but I was like probably 11 miles in. I mean, from the truck, you could get there quicker, but where I'd ended up, I was like 11 miles from the truck, and then the closest clean water I had was like 8 miles away. That was one of the longest hikes I'd ever done.
Yeah.
But the cool part, what I'm getting at, is that deer ended up killing. I bomb out, so that happened. He shot at that. And I bomb out of there.
Did they ever hit? They ever make contact?
No. I watched them run all the way across, all the way down the valley, up into another basin.
Okay. Right.
And but anyway, so I'm like, I got to get out of here now. Like, I'm out of everything, dude. And no toilet paper left. Like, I was just in there. And, like, I was literally like, dude, and I shoot really expensive, like you guys do, expensive setup arrows. But I was getting to the point where I was like, I might have to kill something so I can stay another day.
Yeah.
Like a grouse or marmot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna have to kill something.
$70.
I ain't trying to be some macho like, oh, that's how you do it. But I just, because I'm never that way. I'm usually like stacked with like personal freeze-dried meals and like all kinds of jerky. Like, I'm always got enough food, but I just ran out.
Yeah.
I'd already been in there for 6 days.
Yeah.
And then it was I'd been in there for 4 days, and then I found him, and I was in there for 4 more days, and I'd only brought like 5 days worth of food. And but yeah, I was getting to the point I was like, I got to shoot a squirrel or like something, buddy, to like get me through here. But anyway, I bombed out of there, and that was, I think, the amount of vert I did. I was like 11 miles, but it was like, I have to look on my track because I tracked it. It was like 8 to like 10,000 vert.
Jeez.
Yeah, just up. But where I was at, it was just out of there. But I bombed out of there, got in the truck, drove like, that was in a zone I'd never hunted before. And I drove back to where I'd killed some bucks in the past, and drove like basically till like 2 in the morning. Woke up at daylight, spot the buck I wanted to go after. Crazy place. Like, I actually spotted him from the road, but it was just super far. I mean, it was still 4 miles away, but he was just in this basin, and he just had a big frame and was with some other big bucks. But yeah, got in there, made my stalk, dude, just dead tired, you know, just like dead tired, because I was so depleted from that other deer. And yeah, rolled up there, threw my little stalker pack on, no rain jacket, no nothing. Again, no food, because I'm like, I'm either gonna bust them, or you know how it is. Like, you either kill them or you bust them most of the time, you know. And I roll up there. I sat till about 10 o'clock and watched him bed, but I was still like 4 miles away. I had no other vantage I could get to without losing him, and I didn't want to lose him. So I get up to where I could see where he was bedded, and he had rebedded, and or he wasn't in his bed I'd put him in. And which they do a lot, you know, like switch that mid-morning bed, and which I know better, but I thought I gave him enough time. And he had got up and turned and went back to the shade, and I was like, all right, he might stay there for a couple hours.
Yeah.
I get up there and he's gone, and I'm just like, where is he at, dude? And I like kind of get on top of the ridge and look back down, and he was like, the whole time where I was sitting there trying to find him, he was like 80 yards below me, bedded, just like in this little group of jack pines. Like, he was there the whole time. And but I'd walked at that point I was like 3/4 of a mile from him then. And I'm like, dang, he's all the way back down there where I was just sitting. And I start slipping down through there, and it starts raining. I'm just like getting soaking wet, and it's pretty cold, like windy and getting cold. And but it's perfect. He's like bedded straight away from me, wind's ripping up the mountain, like perfect, what you want. I had like terrain, whole deal. And slipped down there, and then he rebeds and just looks right at me for like, it seemed like forever, but it was probably an hour. But I'm just getting soaked, and then I can't move. So I'm like, I was staying warm because I was like adrenaline going, stalking, you know, moving. I was
All
warm.
that peanut butter in your gut
Yeah,
keeping
dude.
you going.
Yeah, yeah, dude. But anyway, yeah, he just pinned me down for like an hour, and I just remember just being like violently cold, like violently just like, because I'm depleted for one thing, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't even think I can do this, you know, like, and finally, man, he just gets up and just rebeds again, just and faces away from me. I think he caught a glimpse of me and just pinned me down for a while because he never stopped looking up my way. He never licked himself, nothing. He was just glued bed.
God, I hate doing that,
Dude, right?
But
you know,
you sat him out.
Dude, yeah. Slipped down there and like had this perfect little jack pine, like slipped the boots off, and I got like 80 yards from him, creep in on the socks, just get behind that jack pine and just stood there, and I like peeped out and ranged him. He's just like 31 yards, just like perfect, nothing there. Just like if he stands up, he's dead. And he just, stood there for probably 30 to 40 minutes before he stood, and he starts licking himself and yeah, stands up facing away from me. I just draw as soon as he stands and just slid it right through him.
That's awesome.
I think that was the coolest one because it was just like I'd kind of grinded.
Yeah,
like
kind of grinded. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like, dude, that's hell to put yourself through.
dude, yeah,
Yeah.
it was dumb.
Yeah, but worth it.
It was worth it, dude. I like
Yeah, I know
those are the funnest things.
I know.
man.
That's what we talk about. That like the it's fun or it's not fun until it is. You know, like it sucks. It,
Dude, yeah.
it really does
Oh,
suck.
yeah.
But when it all comes together, it's like you come out, you go through that vicious pack out, and then 2 days later you're like, I do that tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
just the stalks alone, man, and where they live is hard.
Yeah,
I mean, because you're wasting. I mean, you're gonna get one stalk a day, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it, and
Yeah.
you're wasting 6 hours just getting to the ridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, now I got to get to him and hope that he's still there. Because I have nothing against him. I've never had anybody walk me in. It's
Yeah.
always just like one-on-one and like
And that's-
wishing I had somebody on the road to be like, yeah, he's still there. But, you know, and I think that's a huge thing. Like, guys stalk to failure.
Yeah.
You know, they get in there and they're quiet, but they just want to see that deer.
Yeah.
And they just make the wrong move where he can see you and it's done. And it's like,
Yeah.
if you just sat there for 40 more minutes, he'd have stood up and it'd have been over.
Yeah.
Like, just don't go too far. Get to where, and then obviously, you know, like marking where that deer is.
Yeah.
And how your perspective changes. And it's
Absolutely.
like, you get up there and you're just lost. And, you know, thankfully, like some of the tools on Allnex help now and just taking a bunch of pictures so you recognize stuff,
exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
and like,
But that takes a
even
lot
just
of trial and error too.
yeah,
you
dude,
know,
like
to
a
figure
dead
out.
tree or something.
It's
You're like,
amazing
okay,
how when you wrap a basin, you feel like you've like got it so well mapped out.
Yeah, totally.
You get on the other side and you just like doubt yourself. You're like, this looks nothing.
yeah.
You're like, he's
I
got
thought
to
it
be
was
a
gonna
half
look
mile.
like.
Yeah.
You know, from up there. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Okay, so we're talking about controversy a little bit too. Andy asked me this question in one of the earlier podcasts. You grew up whitetail hunting, whitetail versus mule deer.
oh, mule deer, 100%.
Okay, now mule deer is your favorite. Which do you think mule deer are harder to hunt? Also, because this is a valuable
talking
perspective.
mature- we're talking mature,
to
big
mature.
deer.
We're
Yeah.
talking 165 whitetail and a 190 mule deer. Which one is harder to
Well, I've
kill?
only hunted 190 mule deer, man, so I ain't got much to say. But no, I mean, I don't know, dude. They're so different.
I know.
It's such a different style of hunting,
Yeah.
man.
It's
But
hard to
I
even
think
compare the
the
two.
high country mule deer, especially because this is a time of the year where you've got several bucks together and
Yeah.
they're all 4 or 5 years old. Like, it's just, that's hard.
Yeah,
Like,
hard
you're
to
never,
get it
in my opinion, you probably never do that with a whitetail.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But you're hunting them in bachelor groups, stalking them. It's hard, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. But it's such a different style of hunting, man, because then you're hunting whitetail most of the time in the rut.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're googly-eyed and wild.
Here's a take on that, right? Put a mature whitetail in a mule deer's bed and then treat it like a mule deer hunt.
But he wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? Like,
I know what
yeah,
you're saying, and
yeah.
I'm going to go whitetail on that.
Because they
Yeah.
are, I think, in their, maybe not their sixth senses, but a big mature whitetail buck seems a lot more
Skeptical.
schizophrenic
Yeah.
about scent, sight. They're much
But
more.
that's what I mean. Like, they wouldn't be in that position
Well-
because of the way that they're like looking around. Like a mule deer would just like that is their defense is to just lay, like be still and lay. Like that's their defense. But you
Well,
know
it's
that
also
white
positional
like, no
security.
Like,
Yeah,
looking
for no
around.
reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know it was funny because I had a very similar answer. He asked me and I was like, it's so different. Like their sixth senses are different. So
Yep.
they're the way they evade predators is much different. It's hard to pin it, but I just think like I grew up hunting mule deer. Now I'm diving into the whitetail world. You grew up whitetail hunting. Now diving into the mule deer world. So it's just interesting to see those perspectives. Yeah. And like if you would have asked me 5 years ago, 6 years ago, before I started hunting whitetail, mule deer all day.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing for you growing up hunting whitetail. Now you have that crossover where you get to see the other side of it, and it's like, okay, like I get it. They're both hard. Yeah. They're both incredibly hard to kill a mature deer anywhere.
They are, dude. I know. Gosh, the whitetail, man. There is a lot more you're worrying about with like scent.
Yeah.
And because they're in most times such a small area.
Yeah.
And you know, you walk a couple different trails to get to your stand, and he crosses that, and he's not coming in. You know? And I mean, there is a lot more to it with hunting whitetail, especially tree stand hunting, where you're sitting, how you get in there. But I don't know, it's kind of similar to mule deer too, because it's like you just either way you got to get in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like you got problems with getting in there on both species.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You better just do it right.
And I have a regret from this whitetail year. I got up later than I wanted to, and when I was making my way into the stand, I checked the camera and I was like, he's on it. I was like, he's right there below my stand. I can't go in there. And what I wish I would have done, I was really scared to bust him out because I was like, I'll just come back tonight or I'll come back tomorrow and hunt him. And I left, but I had this little ravine. I mean, it was pretty deep, actually. It was like 6 feet, and then it probably would have been like 35 yards to where they were at. And I wish I would have just sat there until I could see a daylight and popped up and tried to shoot him from the ground. Like, that's one thing. Yeah, that's one thing that I regret. Like, I was just like, and it was like, I mean, a minute before I showed it, because I'm checking the cams, I'm driving out there, and I'm like, nothing there. I park, and I'm like, gosh,
that's where you almost have too much intel.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just gonna say that.
And he might have come back. If I would have made it into the stand super quiet and not known he was there, he might have come back in. You know,
I've even got to that point now where I've gone from like zero technology to quite a lot of technology, and now it's kind of this like. It's like I don't actually want to know that much. I want to leave some up to intuition, and you know, and of course it's also nice to hope and have hope. You know, where you look at the camera, you're like, shit, it hasn't been there in 2-3 days. You know? Like he's not there, but he might be there. I was listening to an interesting study a guy did where he put several cameras up. And he put some of them where like he thought was the most probable location to catch deer traveling. And then what he would do is back-to-back a camera. So if he was like, here's the trail, I'm going to set it right here, right? He would also set a camera just facing completely the opposite direction. And then he did a couple where he'd like face them across each other. And the amount of deer he found that were missed by your single placement camera was staggering. It was a substantial amount. Like one camera would catch 1 or 2 deer moving, and the other camera that was only like 10 feet away or on the opposite side of the tree would catch like 20 deer, you know? Yeah. Which kind of just got me to that point where I was like, I'm almost relying too much on this one. Like, it's not telling me the whole story here. Sure. And of course, you're strategizing based on that, you know? So you could actually it could be leading you astray.
Yeah, dude. Totally. Yeah, I mean, he walks right behind that tree. You never know it. He was there, but he just didn't get a picture of him. I never got into trail camera.
We only have recently, you know.
I would love to.
It's really fun, but it's dangerous. It does lead you down some rabbit holes of like I've done that where I've definitely. You're chasing the cameras, right, and the pictures, and then this, and what I should have done was acted more on instinct, you know, or just time, you know, be like, I know he uses this area. I'm going to put the time in there, you know, and it's a factor. But the fun
thing is too is the unknown. Like that's the cool thing in a high country basin. You get up there, dude, and you start glassing. You don't know what you're going to see, right? So I mean, that's the cool part. Like I talked about that, going that approach with whitetail, because when we went on that 3-day hunt I was talking about, we know there's giants there. We have no idea what deer are there. All day sits on the edge of your seat all freaking day, because you have no idea when something's going to come in, what's going to come in. So it's like when you know what's on camera, you're like, oh, that's this buck, or this buck hits the comes in at this time,
he shows
or
up
whatever.
at 9, and then you're at 850, you're getting all nervous,
Yes.
and then 910, you're like, okay, you didn't come.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you go in an unknown spot, it's like, I mean, you are
Dude, yeah.
just wired. Like
Oh, yeah.
every sound, everything. Yeah.
Dude, especially rattling, calling to them.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dude, you're rattling. I mean, there's so many bucks have come in. I literally can't get the horns hung up. You know,
Yeah.
where it's just like mid horn. You're like, oh God. you
Yeah.
know, And then it's just like, okay, how do I do this? You
Yeah,
know, it's like-
exactly.
But that's always what I loved about the whitetail, because and two, you're hunting in leaves, man. I
Yeah.
love that, where it's just like, oh, you hear,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh my God, what is
Yeah,
this? You
I
know? And then
know.
it's just a fork he rolls out. But
Yeah, and
sometimes
your
you're like,
heart's-
oh God, it's a giant. you
Dude, the
know?
first opener whitetail this year in Oklahoma, I thought I was going to vibrate out of the tree, dude. I thought I was going to pass out. Like, as soon as it gets daylight, I just hear those deer coming, and it's just like, oh man, dude.
Yeah.
I seriously, I'm like, I'm going to have a heart attack up
Yeah.
here, dude. Like, somebody's going to need, it's like a 100-inch buck that comes in like 3 does, and I'm just
Yeah.
shaking, you know?
Yeah, the most nervous I've ever been though is on whitetail,
Yeah.
because I think you hear a lot more before you see them.
Well, and Andy pointed this out. You almost bleed that energy that they have. Like, they give off that very skeptical
Mm-hmm.
energy, you know, where they're coming in and they're surveying and they're smelling. Like, they don't come in, you know, most of the time, like really nonchalantly.
Yeah, I
So
get
it's like
edgy. I mean,
you-
if things happen quickly, but when you see like a big mature buck come in and then he pauses and he scans for 15 minutes, 'cause
Yeah.
you know it's like wind's going to change at some point.
Yeah.
You know, like it's inevitable. You know, and so his body language is putting off a lot of nervous,
Yes.
you know, ness, and then you
and
just
it's
kind
just
of
coming into
start
you.
absorbing
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like
And you have
yeah,
nowhere to go. You're just in the sand.
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
what do I do? Yeah.
when that's like a mule deer, I usually get like nervous when I know I'm about to make a stock. When I start making the stock, I'm good. When I get to like 150, I get nervous again, and I usually am like, okay, relax. And then for the rest of the way in, I can get myself to calm down. You know what I
Yep,
mean? But
yep.
it's like I get those stages of nervousness, but when a whitetail's coming in, you hear it, you don't see it. They do the whole thing, you know, and you don't really have a chance to like calm down. But I have to make a conscious effort when I'm stalking a mule deer, being like, like
Yep.
get your breathing right, like just
Yep.
like go and make this count. You
Well,
know?
when the whitetail, it's like when they show up, most of the time they're like in range.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
like these moves you have to make. If you hadn't grabbed your bow already, it's
Yeah.
like, man, it's like he's already here. Now what? You
Yeah.
know, and you know, but with the mule deer going in, like I'm the same way. And to me, what calms me down is just taking a breath, and then because you feel like you're going slow, but you need to go slower.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's when it hits me when I get nervous. I'm like, dude, just slow down.
Yeah.
Like go half as slow as you're doing right now, and then all of a sudden I've moved 40 yards in an hour.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times what it takes to kill those big
For
deer.
sure.
I mean, I've spent an hour or two making it 20 yards.
Yeah.
Where it's just like one little breath of wind, I take one step, or
Yeah.
a plane flies over, and I
Yeah.
just take another step. You know, and that's what it takes. But that's when I get nervous.
Yeah.
It's like taking one step. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, I got to do this.
Yeah,
and then
I
it's
know.
like, oh, okay,
I
we're
know.
good.
You're like, you have it all like mapped out, you know, like where you're gonna step.
Yeah,
but
moving
then it's
rocks
like,
out of the
yeah,
way.
yeah, exactly. It's just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I
don't
love that part of it though.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
love it.
I love stalking stuff. I really like to see something, particularly a horn or an ear, and then stalk.
know.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Make my movements based on that. It is fun, the strategy of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all fun. And see, that's what, like you were talking about Kyle hunting, me not wanting to hear it. And that was awesome. I love to hear it because this is what I figured out this year. I went with Sage goose hunting for the first time ever. I'm not a bird hunter. Went with Sage pheasant hunting, and I'm like, dude, it just turns out I like all this shit. I
Yeah,
like
dude, yeah.
anytime hunting and fishing you throw at me,
Yep.
I'm all about
Yep.
it, man. I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, there's some things that I like better, but it's like,
It's all fun.
it's
man.
all awesome. But
Yep.
you just gotta dive into it head first. If you really want to get good at these things, nothing happens overnight. It takes a
Yep.
lot of work to get to where you're going to be successful. A lot of blown stocks, a lot of
Oh, yeah.
blown shots, a lot of
Yeah.
not seeing anything. I mean, yeah, there's been years archery elk hunting early on that it was like, I mean, just not seeing an elk for 2 weeks, you know, and
Yeah.
it's like that's tough, but
Yep.
you learn.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I get guys message me or whatever talking about Lakers, you know, and like, how do you do this, or how are you catching them, or like, how do you catch these, and why do you catch so many of them and stuff? And it's like, dude, I'm honestly like, I'm just out here
Yeah.
more than everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that comes down to a lot. It's just like, I'm not better than anybody or at all, but I'm just out here more, and I see things that you just don't see. And I'm very blessed to be out there every day.
Yeah.
And I don't take it for granted, man.
Yeah.
And it's like you gotta, put your time in. And I get it. Most guys can't. And,
Yeah.
And like I said in the beginning, I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I should be making some money somewhere, but I'm probably just gonna go fish.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Yeah.
that's just what I mean. And love my wife to death.
Yeah, I
And
was
she's
gonna
cool
say.
with it.
Yeah,
and,
she knows. She knew this.
and I told her literally the night we met, I was like, I hunt and fish a lot, and I said, whatever you're thinking, times that by about 30.
Yeah.
And she's always like motivated me. I love her to death, man. She motivates me. I mean, there's been so many. I get home from my mountain goat hunt a few years ago. I get home at like 4 in the morning, and I've been through everything you can go through as a bow hunter, and from long pack outs to missing to falling, about killing myself. Literally, I fell like 30 straight vertical feet straight to my bow, broke all but 2 arrows, and ended up killing the goat the same day. And then a giant pack out after that, like a 16-mile pack out, like dead. And I finally get home. I'm like coming home no matter what. I wasn't gonna sleep in the truck. I was like ready to be home.
Yeah.
I get home and she's like cooking me pancakes and like elk steaks at like 4 in the morning. And I'm like, all right,
You're the one.
You're getting
Yeah.
a ring. Like, she already had the pancakes cooked, buddy. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Get the syrup out.
I know, and that's what like it's huge to have that motivation. Like even on the days where I don't feel like I want to go or whatever, like my wife's like, you need to go. And like I've killed some big shit because my wife told me to go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, so yeah, definitely huge to have that in your corner. But like you said, she knew it going in. Like
I told her. Yeah.
Times that by
my
30.
previous relationship, actually, I came home to an empty house after like a 3-week hunt. So.
Well, she wasn't the one anyway.
Nope,
so
nope.
yeah,
I was like,
good
I got
riddance.
a note in an empty house, and I was like, huh. And I like missed like 2 bulls that trip. I was like, sick.
Yeah.
Let's go find the nearest bridge to jump off of.
No, that's awesome. Okay, is there anything else that you like want to dive into that you haven't yet? Is there anything that's like allures you to like learn a new skill or learn something else to hunt or?
Man, not a whole lot, dude. I've never been to Alaska. That's always super intriguing to me, and I'm scared to go up there. My wife would move there tomorrow. I probably would too once I went up there.
Yeah.
I want to explore more of that. I just want to hunt some different stuff, man, and learn different stuff. The problem with me, and as you can tell, it's like I can't just go do it once.
Yeah.
It's like I'm probably just gonna have to go try to be the best at it.
Yeah.
And there goes the next 40 grand of my life.
Yeah.
You know, like my wife wants me getting mountain biking, and it's like I enjoy it when I've went, but I can feel it in my blood. I'm like, I want to be the best at this. And I don't have the money to go buy these bikes. Like I get too invested in stuff. Man.
Yeah, I know. We're the same way. I had to start like cutting down hobbies pretty seriously, and it just went all the way down to hunting and fishing because I'm like,
I know. You can't really just partially get into something.
Yeah.
You have to like get into the deep end of the swimming
100% or not at all. My wife says that's how I am. It's like, it's not worth doing if you're not going to.
Which is a tricky thing. Not everyone kind of gets that, you know, when you're going to get just so down a rabbit hole where you just have to completely immerse yourself in something.
Like the whitetail thing, I could have just dabbled in that one time and like been, I got all this hunting out here, you know, but it's like, head first, dude. Start applying for tags, buying stands, figured it out. Like,
now it's like $800 to go hunt a whitetail for some reason. But
I know it is crazy.
No, I guess one thing, man, is like I do like saltwater fishing really intrigues me.
Okay.
I haven't done like out of I've done a lot of my dad professionally bass fished for the first like 8 years of my life. Like that's what I made his living. And I did the bass fishing game. I've did the fly fishing game. I mean, we didn't really get into that much, but that was my life from the time I did my high school online because of it. Like that's all I did. From the time I was 12 years old, I got on the U.S. youth team and we traveled the world doing these big international competitions. And that's all I did till I was 18. And like I said, I did my high school online. It was all just full commit there again. Which I still love to fly fish. I love guiding it. I don't do it as much anymore. I love guiding it though. But the saltwater game I never really got into. Not necessarily like offshore stuff. I love when I go down. My family's back in Florida now. I go visit them. Like all the inshore stuff, man. The snook, the redfish, tarpon. Like I could.
Yeah.
I love the mountains, but I could see myself like taking 2 months out of the year and just
100%.
like doing that because there's some cool stuff and there's so much water, man. I mean, it's like it's just like it's not like here. The thing, dude, like growing up back east in North Carolina, man, was like one day we go fish for bass, the next day we go fish for smallmouth in a river, and the next day we go fish for muskie, and then the next day we go like what we call blue lining, where we just pick a blue line on the map and go hike into it and catch brookies this long.
Yeah.
It was like this all like super diverse fishery around there, and we go catch stripers, you know. Where here it's like pretty much trout.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can drive and get into some muskie and that type of stuff, but in Western North Carolina, where I grew up, East Tennessee, within a 2-hour drive, I could have you on a different species every day.
Yeah.
And just that diversity was really cool, which you can get into in the salt, which I like.
Yeah, for sure. And that's like, I mostly because I get seasick. I don't like the deep sea stuff, but anything I've done like inland, like reds and snook. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's super cool because when we were in Louisiana, it felt like we were, I don't know, not fishing the ocean for sure. It's like all that brackish water, you know, and it's like
little rivers.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It was super cool. So yeah, I could also see you getting into that, but I could also see you going to Alaska and dedicating the next 20 years to.
I'd be nervous about going to Alaska. I don't know if I'd come back.
That's always what I've said. My wife, every year she's like, let's go to Alaska. And I'm like, I won't come back. Like, I mean, I know it's like everybody says that, but I just know how I am, dude.
Yeah.
And you go up there and you get however many tags or whatever. I'm just like, that was a cool part about Hawaii, dude, because you just go hunt every day.
Yeah.
You got like 6 sheep tags a day.
Yeah.
And that's what we went and did, you know.
Yeah.
I remember one time real quick, I shot they had a youth hunting area only there. It was bow only, 13 years and under, and a bunch of big old mouflon on it, dude. And you had to check in. It was actually a really cool area. But big lava rocks, big mountains, kind of cool, just cool country. And you had to go check in and at this little guard station, and we check in, we go hunt, and me and my dad slip up on these sheep. Dude, I'm like 9, shooting like 34 pounds or something, you know. And we get like 40 yards of this big old ram, dude. And they're not like, people get the wrong impression with Hawaii, I think sometimes. Like those mouflon and all the like everything on the island's pretty cagey.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing there hunting them, but you can't just walk up to them. Like you just don't. Especially those like purebred mouflons, they're on a different level.
Yeah, great eyesight.
Oh yeah. And we get on this ram's like 40 yards, dude, and I'm just like, 40 yards is like, I mean, that's all I practiced though, but like as a kid, but it was still a long ways.
Yeah.
And it still is today, but like draw, shoot, and I mean, it just takes 30 minutes for my arrow to get there, you know. It's like, I mean, perfect, it's just going perfect in this big old ram. And it's like just about there, dude, and it like turns its head to lick its side, and the arrow just is like right in the side of its head. And you know, like my penetration, I got about that much penetration. So this sheep's running off with this big arrow sticking out of its head. And I always thought it was funny. We go back to hunt the next day. Or no, it was like a few days later. And we go to the guard station. He's like, man, I've been riding around. He's like, there's this sheep running around with an arrow sticking out of its head. He's like, if anybody kills that one, he's like, you ain't got to put a tag on it, you know. And I'm standing there like missing an arrow with my bow, you know. And I'm just like putting my bow behind my back, like, okay, sweet, yeah, like it's a free one, you know. I just always thought it was funny. Like,
that is funny.
I don't know if it ever got killed or not, but he's probably still running around with an arrow.
That's hilarious.
I remember the sound when it hit, because it hit this skull, and it was just like, wow, you know.
Just didn't penetrate
Didn't get in
enough.
there,
Yeah.
But yeah, that guard was like, yeah, if you see that one running around, he said it's a big old ram. He's like, one of the bigger ones I've seen. He's like, you see that one? Don't tag it. He's like, you can tag it for free. But yeah, it's fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, you have gotten into a lot though. I mean, you've gotten into a lot of things. I mean, you've been blessed, like you said,
Dude,
to be able to be in Hawaii, North Carolina, East Tennessee,
100%.
Kansas, Missouri, Western Slope of Colorado. I mean, you've been in a lot of stuff.
And a lot here. I mean, the other thing I've seen with you over the years, which is actually a fairly rare trait, is in your guiding. You're one of those guides that some guides like really love to hunt, right? And they fall into guiding, hunting and fishing, right? They fall into guiding, but they're kind of begrudge it. You're one of these guides I've seen that really takes quite a lot of care in the success of your client, and you have sacrificed a substantial amount of your own opportunities for that, which is fun to see because you don't see it all the time. Often you'll see like guides that are kind of begrudging, and they're like, if I was in that position, and if it was me, and my client screwed up. I've never ever heard you say that.
Yeah.
So you're pretty passionate about the guiding side of things, which I respect you for that, for sure, because it makes a unique guide, because there's not that many that operate with the professionalism that you do, and the willingness to kind of sacrifice your own opportunities for someone else. You get to experience a lot with that, but yeah, it's been interesting to see.
I love the guiding part of it, man. To me, it's kind of, I mean, I've been guiding fishing since I was 14. Like, I was really ripping people around with my learner's permit. And old guys showing up to fly fish, and they show up with this skinny, long-haired 14-year-old, and they're like, who is this kid? But, like, go put them on a bunch of fish, and then they're fishing with me every year, you know? Yeah. But, like, I guess kind of where more my patience comes in with people is because, like, I've made all the mistakes I feel like you can about make. And, I mean, I'm sure I've not made them all, but it's like, I understand that he messed up and stepped on that branch and spooked or whatever he missed. It's like, I've been there, dude. Like, we'll just go find another one, man, you know? Like,
For sure.
I don't know. I mean, it's just like, it's too, my whole deal, doing anything is like, we're just going to have fun.
Yeah. It does take a certain attitude.
But it's hard, you know where I got, and it's a long wait for guys. So it's a lot of pressure, man. And then you roll in. Like, we rolled in this year to camp. I'd already set up like a week before, and no joke, there's 4 tents within, no joke, 20 yards of my tent.
Oh, man.
And then you show up with a guy that's waited 16 years to hunt this tag, and it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of elk in there, but I'm not going to do this. Like, and like, why? I like, it's so hard for me to not lose my cool, because I'm like a real hillbilly down inside, dude. And like, when it comes out, like, it's bad for everybody, whether I get my teeth knocked in or not. But like, it's like, I'm gonna freak out, and like, it takes a lot for me to get there, but I'm gonna snap, and it's not gonna be good. But I just had to. Luckily, had brought another spot camp in my pack, and we just went and camped somewhere else and hunted, like, not where I wanted to hunt, because technically they were kind of there before me. Even though I put my camp up there, I'm not trying to claim the spot. I just did it because I had time.
Yeah.
But you guys are here, and like, my dad kind of gets on to me sometimes when we've hunted public land together. Like, we got beat to a spot turkey hunting last year up in Wyoming. Like, we were walking out a road way before daylight, and there was another road that come in that you could access it from. We're a long ways in there, and we're walking out the road, and I'm just like, I mean, we were getting to where that road would meet, and I'm like, what is that? I mean, you can't even see, and nobody had lights on. And I'm like, what is that, dude? And we walk in, there's 2 guys going turkey hunting, you know, and like, literally they had walked out from here to the door, like up that other road, you know, and I was just like, my dad's pissed, you know, because we're like a mile and a half in this road, nothing steep, but just walking, you know, and those guys didn't want to talk to me. They just wanted to book it out through there. But I was like, whistled, and was like, hey, dude, like, where are you guys headed? Because we had roosted a bird that night. And they were like, they must have heard the same bird the evening before. Like, yeah, we're going up. It was like right on some edge of some private. He's like, we're going up to that bird on the edge of that private. And I said, well, you guys beat us, man. I was like, we're going to go down here and hunt. And we went down there and shot a bird. You know? And it's like, I truly believe in that stuff. And I listened to the one that you guys talking about ethics. And man, it's the etiquette on stuff has went out the window. Man.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, that's admirable.
I've even
for
coordinated.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I believe in karma, and I've been there where I beat the person, but they just keep following me. And it's like, dude, this is not going to be good for anyone. And it's like, let's talk through it. If you're going up there, we'll go down here. Yeah. And tomorrow we'll hunt that bird. We'll beat you. Tomorrow, I guarantee you won't beat us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's like that type of stuff, man. And just being, I don't know, it's so hard in that unit. You know, it's like, man, the guys there's some cutthroat stuff that goes on down there.
Yeah.
It's
happens everywhere.
It happens everywhere on public land and on the water. I mean, it's just the same.
Yep.
So,
but you just got, I think, just have fun with it, and I'll just brush that stuff off.
I had a guy one time, this is funny, we were further south turkey hunting, and this is one of my first years turkey hunting. We were walking in, there's 4 of us, got up early enough, walking in, and I hear something behind me, and I look, and there's a dude on a mountain bike, and he's just cruising up the road. He waves at us, drives on by, kills a freaking bird. Like, as we're coming out, he rides by us again with a bird on his back. And I'm like, I was like kind of pissed, but I was also like, why didn't we bring mountain bikes?
Dude,
like, what are we walking in here for? Yeah, exactly.
You wanted to throw a stick in his spokes.
Exactly. Yeah. He didn't say a word. He just went in, did his business, and waved at us on the way out. I was like,
props to
him,
whatever.
Exactly. And it's very big, and that's what we wanted to make a point in that last podcast, to just be like, don't be a dick, just don't be that guy, you know. Like, you can be agreeable on stuff, but I mean, I am adamant. If you guys were there 1st,
Mm-hmm.
you would have let the hillbilly come out and be adamant that no, we were here first.
Right.
But they got you
Yeah.
for
Yep.
that day. They got you.
Yep.
You know, and
And
that's
got in a hunt this past year. We pull up to the spot way before daylight. I figured guys were going to roll in. And we'd actually got on the bull. Had an old, he was like 73 years old. And we'd found a bull the evening before. And I knew where that bull was going to, I knew he was just going to be in that same patch of timber, but it was just like right up from where you park. And I knew guys were going to park here. And there's a roadbed. You walk out and dump into another basin. That guys, a ton of guys hunt. So we're sitting there and it's like way before daylight. And I'm like, we got to let it at least get a little daylight before we creep out here. Like he might be in the bottom and we
Yeah.
spook him before, you know.
right.
And dude, here comes, I mean, it's a small little parking area and like one little path that leads out through there. And we're sitting there and here comes 2 side-by-sides and they pull up right behind us and just start getting out and getting their stuff together, you know. And I got my vehicle on, lights on, like he knows I'm in there. And like, I don't care, dude. Like, I can't stop you from going in there, but it's like, dude, can we talk about like where you're headed? I've got a 73-year-old man I'm trying to like climb a cliff with right now.
Yeah.
And not that puts me in any kind of advantage or I should be first, but it's like, I don't know, when I roll up to a spot and there's a vehicle there, I just go somewhere else,
Yeah,
you know? And it's like, but
exactly.
then it was like 2 side-by-sides and they didn't want to talk. I got out and was like trying to talk to them and they were just kind of head down. I mean, we're like from me to you. And I'm like, finally like, hey, what's y'all's plan? You know, well, we're going to walk out the road here. And I said, well, I got a bull right here. I said, we found yesterday evening. And I said, I'm going to try to get him on it. And I was like, can you just please not like use your lights out through there? I said, because he's not far right here. And my hunter's getting out and he can barely walk, you know. And that dude ended up killing a sweet bull. I drug him to the edge of earth.
Your client did.
Yeah. And like about killed the dude. And like cool guy, like cool, tough old dude.
Yeah.
But you could tell he just couldn't hardly walk. And yeah, but what do those guys do? They walk out through there with lights. It starts cracking daylight. And I asked them, I was like, because they were like, we're going to dump over into that other basin. And I was like, sweet. I was like, we're just hunting close right here. And meanwhile, there's like 3 other guys pulling in, getting stuff together. I'm just like, this is stupid. Anyway, those first guys cruise out through there, dude. And what do? They have full headlamps walking out through there. It gets a little bit, I asked them, I said, would you guys mind not calling? I said, till you get on top over there. I said, so we can have a chance at this bull. I said, I've got like 3 hikes I can do with this guy. And well, they do. I mean, they walk straight out through with their headlamps, just full blast, looking up where the bull's at, just looking around. That gets daylight, and they're just ripping bugles, like not like 200 yards from the vehicle. And I'm just like, dude, like I asked you, like we were here first. I asked just a couple things, like please, like you know, like just. And that they just didn't care, you know. And to my face, they're like, yeah, we'll just slip out through there, no lights, and we'll get to the ridge, and then we'll bugle or whatever.
And then 5 yards after they left you, they're like, screw that guy.
I know, man. I'm just like, I was trying to be nice, but
Yeah.
and then
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But like you said, karma's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and that guy killed a sweet bull. Maybe not that bull, but
Right.
yeah,
Yep.
killed a sweet bull.
Yep. We ended up calling that bull in, but we never got a shot.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a cool bull, but
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. It's just always going to be the case. You just have to hold yourself to a standard, and
Yep.
like you said, brush the rest off. It just is what it is.
Yep.
Guiding as well is another dynamic. You know, that's another balance because it's not only just yourself personally. You're representing yourself, a company, and a client.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. And you know, it's with older dudes because it takes so long to draw a tag. It's like most of my guys are older. And I've got like 2 hikes. I've got 2 hikes with these guys, and we got to make it count, you know, before they're just kind of wanting to road hunt or something, you know, most of the time. And I do get some tough old dudes that stay in there, and we do. I mean, I do, but majority, it's like you get a hike or 2 out of a person. You know, the type of client I get, it's like I get 2 hikes, dude, you know, and I, you know, just got to make it count. And then here comes all these people rolling in. It's just like, oh, man.
Yeah.
But what do you do? I mean, it's public land, man. I love that part of it, honestly,
Yeah.
too, where it's like, all right, I'll go slip in and shoot this bull under like 8 guys, you know, like that Osceola I killed.
Yeah.
You know, I love that stuff where it's just like, okay, you know,
Yeah.
so many people that just,
Yeah, especially with a shotgun. It's like they just hear that noise and they're just like,
yeah, dude.
great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm that guy with the bicycle riding by you guys.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Yeah, I
Gosh.
know. It is a kind of a funny feeling. I had that one year where I was going to the spot. It was probably like, I don't know, 10 days into the hunt or something like that. And I roll up to this spot. You know me, like, I've always got like the 4-wheeler in the back of my truck, but I refuse to take it out. I'll just take my truck anywhere. I get to this spot where guys are like surprised I got there. Same thing. I there were a couple of guys like coming out, and I stopped. Now I talk to people more than I used to. You know, same thing.
Yeah.
Chatted, and you could tell like it was a father and a son, and I was like, "Oh, are you guys camped up here?" They're like, "Yeah, we've been hunting that for a week." And I was like, "Oh, you having any luck or anything?" He's like, "I'm gonna go up there and poke around." We're talking like 2 big drainages, and he's like, no, not really, blah blah. And the son doesn't want to talk at all. You know, he's not interested. And I'm like, "Oh, it's fine." You know, make my way up there. So I go up there.
How old are they?
I pack in. Sorry.
How old are they?
The one guy was probably in his 40s, and then the dad was probably mid-60s.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know, and I get up there, I pack in there, and I kill a bull the very next morning, pack it out that night, and I meet his dad back in the parking lot again, and it was a sweet bull too, and I could tell his dad was pumped, right?
Yeah.
And I just remember how rude the whole encounter was, because I was like, I know this area really well, and I'll help you guys. Right?
Yeah.
Was what I was thinking,
Yeah.
especially if they were like, "Well, we've been here and here." I'd be like, "Well, I'll tell you what, try this area and I'll try it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would have been totally prepared to help them, but he was so rude. I was just like, "Okay, whatever," you know. And went up, they were gonna go try somewhere else, and then when his dad saw me, he's like, "Can I take a photo of that?" I was like, "Please do." You know?
Nah,
Please
that's
do.
hilarious.
'Cause
Put it on
I
your
couldn't just help
screensaver.
thinking in the back of my head. It's like this. He's gonna show. He's like, "Hey, you know that guy that you were really rude to on the road the other day? That he just went into where we've been hunting for a week, shot the big bull, and came out." You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I know it's kind of a
Yeah,
funny.
just talking to dudes, man. To me, like just talking stuff out, and
Yeah.
most of the time they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. But it's like at least let's
At
have
least
a
get
plan.
it up front.
You
Like,
can
that's what we
get some
talked
coordinate.
about.
I mean, I've even chatted to you guys before where I remember one spot last year and I found all these bulls and I'm thinking like, perfect. There's no one, there wasn't another vehicle there at all. And I text your buddy, the outfitter, and I'm like, "Hey, where you guys at?" You know? And he's like, just the worst message he sent back. He's like, "We're going to be here. And I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck. There's
Yeah.
several nice bulls right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But that's the best way, is just to be
Yeah,
upfront with people and,
yeah, it
and
actually
be honest.
works out
and,
great when
and
you
want
coordinate
to
with-
want to keep
Yep.
those reputations. Like, you don't want to be known as that guy
No,
that's
dude.
an asshole that's running people out of spots and
No.
everything. So I mean, that's the way that you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got? What do we got for Mr. Hunter Enloe on the hunting docket this year moving forward? Let's.
Gosh, man, I've got a bunch to guide. I'm hoping to. I'm probably gonna draw my antelope.
Sweet.
And then
Archery
I'll
antelope.
draw my deer tag.
Okay.
It's the same one I always hunt, but I've got 2 days to hunt right now.
Okay.
Which
But
was
you'll have basically 2 weeks on the antelope.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll have that, but usually I'm super booked with fishing, so we'll just. Yeah, that's a battle I have. But man, guiding where I do, it's like such a fun unit to hunt. I love going down there and helping people.
I was gonna say.
It's just fun to hunt down there. But yeah, dude, antelope and deer. I say it every year. I'm trying to sneak a whitetail hunt in somewhere, but I never get the time to do it. But probably not this year. Yeah, I've got 3 archery hunts to guide. Got every rifle season booked. So.
And then fishing. But either way, you're outside every day.
Yeah,
so
dude.
that's
Yeah.
a win.
Yep.
Call it a win.
For sure.
That's awesome. Andy, you got anything else to add?
No, that was super fun.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, dude.
awesome.
Really great to
Yeah.
hear some of the
No,
stories.
thank you guys, man, and it just very bluntly, I've looked up to both you guys since I moved here, so it's cool to be sitting here with you guys and talking to you guys.
Well, we
no,
look up to
likewise,
you
we're-
too.
We
Yeah,
boys, yeah.
we're like
Oh,
that
boy.
guy. That guy murders shit.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
it's cool. Yeah, kind of getting to sit here with you guys and chat, man. It's like I said, I've definitely looked up to both you guys for a long time. So
Yeah, for sure. There's lots of other stuff I'd love to dive into in topics with you that we'll do at some point.
Yeah.
Body
Yeah, let's do it
language of
again.
Hunter
animals.
Enloe,
and-
part 2.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. We'll see you next week.